What's up, everybody? Miss Melanie, I don't see you in the Skype. We got to actually start setting this up where we go through the Discord. I think it's a better way for us to communicate. So, a lot of stuff has been going on. Let me take this fucking hoodie off and shit. A lot of stuff's been going on over the past couple of weeks that we're going to hit on. We still got some dirty, grimy pedo folks running around the FGC being scumbags. We have big name brand sponsors, if you will, ditching the FGC, which is always fun. Players becoming unsponsored. Players having issues identifying as what they are. Bad-mouthing people. A lot of weird shit going on lately. The FGC's going through a very odd growing pain, I guess. It seems like for a little while there, we were looking like we were becoming esports, and I kind of think that the Band-Aid's gotten ripped off on that whole process, and a lot of people are either ditching the idea finally. They're seeing how the esports shit works, but it ain't going nowhere. You know, the FGC since inception, I guess early 90s, has always been organic, and it'll continue to grow no matter what sponsors come in and try to milk the FGC for what they can, or what tournament or events are going to try and make a buck. Those all come and go, but the people in the community will always be, and people will come and people will go. A couple of weekends ago, I had gone to Winter Brawl, and I'll be honest, I don't recognize anybody. It seems like there's an evolution going on, and it's an evolution of life. But before I get into that, let me add in Miss Mel and Mr. All Caps, and let's bring one and a two.
Hi.
What is this? That thing's doing all this weird shit. Okay. Oh, that's why. Oh, there we go. Perfect. And one more thing. Hold on a second. Bear with me. Boom. Okay. Here we go. All right. Oh, look at this guy posing down over here. Guy that looked like he in like an Essence magazine with these poses.
Wait, I can't hear you. Hold on, James. Hi, Chris.
What's up, man?
So what's going on, guys? How was your weekend? Your week? You know, we haven't chatted this week as much. Work, you know, kind of fucks people
You were
up.
like working a lot, James.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me mute my TV. You were working a lot.
Yeah, I was supposed to work again tonight, but thank God the project I was working on fucked up, so now they're scared.
Oh, Redline. Redline said, Mel and Caps, thank you both for helping me these past couple of weeks. Absolutely. Like that, I couldn't even imagine that, what he went through. But I mean, I don't know if you want to touch on it, Chris, but yeah. One of our homies, his father passed away, and it was really, really sad because it was like sudden. So he had, yeah, definitely you got people that got your back and will check on you and stuff. So, yes. Chris, why are you looking like that?
How am I looking? What's up?
Hey.
So I found God, guys.
Oh,
I am one of the chosen one. I almost quit smoking, but I doubled up. Oh, I doubled up. Now I smoke and I do the vape pen at the same time. But at least I smoke less and I vape more. And I found a gym. I drove past gyms for like the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I always hated working out and shit like that. Like, I just don't have the fucking patience to sit and push weights and pretend I'm some kind of fucking Guido and do pose downs in mirrors and take selfies of myself for 2 hours. But
You've pretended to be a Guido in the past?
fucking A, what do you mean? I've always been a fucking Guido. I used to live over on Prospect Avenue with Tony. Fucking, we used to eat calzones at lunchtime together. Yo, what the fuck? I had my IROC. So,
Yes.
and I found a gym. Needless to say, so trying to get healthier, I guess, for some odd reason. I think it's for a woman.
Oh, I was gonna ask you how that was going because we haven't talked and stuff.
Yeah, you know, I'm a player. Yeah, fuck the bitches. IDYH.
No.
Oh, James, I mean, me and Chris know you for real, so it's. I mean, maybe that's the perception everyone has of you.
You know, it's going. I mean, life is life at this point for me. I just kind of roll with the punches, and wherever I wind up, hopefully it's in a bed I want to be in. Just saying.
Well, how was your week, James? Because you were like working like crazy. You were working more than me.
They had put me back at Madison Square Garden. So I was doing the Big Ten, setting up for the Big Ten and Big East and all the basketball shit. So that was a process.
Okay.
And then pretty much just working as much as I can, you know, getting a lot of projects, new projects, trying to make that esports money for real.
Feeling. Oh, D-Nice said, the fuck, Melanie. Welcome to art. Do you want to do the real introduction, Chris? The one that we were originally gonna do.
Is this? Are we flaming people today?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
today is not Be Civil Day. This is be whatever the hell you want today.
Yeah. That's anytime you see these, and now these, it's you already know.
Oh my God! What the fuck, my nigga?
It's deserved though. Like it's
they fuck with the devil.
Why?
Well, look. What I want to know is this. Before you get the roasting niggas, I don't want to get deep.
I mean, it's not. It's like surface roast. It ain't gonna be that deep.
What I want to know is this. I'm a Tekken player, little Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
The whole E-League shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead. I mean, because Cookie.
I'm glad that some people got some shine. But what I'm trying to figure out is what the fuck is the criteria for being on E-League?
I've been curious of that too.
Because some of the motherfuckers definitely did not deserve to be on E-League. And I was confused. I was confused and thoroughly pissed off as a Tekken player because it's a lot better players that deserve that spot over quite a few people. So I want to fucking know. I need to fucking know. What is it? Is it fan favorites? Is it the most losses? Like what
we want you. You got the most losses ever in Tekken tournaments. You went 0-2 for the last 10 tournaments. You're E-League material.
Never won a major. You accept it. Like, what the fuck?
Chris, you know what's similar to that too? That esports show that was casted and is now recasted that's going to be on Netflix. I don't know what it's called, but they had like cast it a couple months ago because I'm cool with one of the people that was cast on it. And then they got rid of a bunch of them and then recast it with, I guess, like some generic, I mean, one of the people I don't have a particular favor towards, who I know is on the show and I know got accepted, which is funny. But we'll see. So yeah, that reminds me of that kind of thing too.
The problem is this, and it's the FGC it's life in general. You know, these people that are chosen. I mean, beyond the Anakins and the Poke Chops and the bigger name people, it's kind of like random out of a hat. And when these people try to, I guess, pick, they look at the, well, would they say something disruptive on TV? Are they a quiet person? Like Chris, I'm sorry, man. You could be the number 1 ranked guy. They're not taking you, man.
And it's a shame.
It is.
I mean, clearly, like people like L Train and Jody didn't get on.
Yeah,
and
that's
right
extremely
there.
confusing.
That
Even Chill has been amazing at Tekken recently.
Because don't get me wrong. A lot of the people who was everybody that was in the E-League, I know. But let's be honest. And whoever sees this, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I know. Don't take this the wrong way. My niggas, you niggas are good. But there were other niggas who are better, with better personality, who could have gave a better performance. I'm just saying.
I understand.
That's all I'm saying. Because some of you motherfuckers, look, I don't know. I know, sis, this ain't about you, Cuddle, because I know somebody gonna clip it and try to make this a me hating on the women thing. No, Cuddle.
But I mean, if you have your feelings about anybody, that doesn't reflect my feelings. And that's what people need to understand when they watch this. James's feelings are his feelings, are Chris's feelings, and my feelings are mine.
Yeah.
Say whatever.
For some reason, when we talk about certain shit, it get taken out of context.
Of course it does.
So I'm gonna say this right now. This is not a bash, because I know Cuddlecore is the only female on E-League. So I know fuckers will try to clip this and say, "Oh, Cash was talking shit about." No. So let me put this disclaimer out here right now. Cuddlecore was not only the only female Tekken player out there, but despite being a female Tekken player, she also showed her ass as an actual Tekken player. Let's just leave a female out of it. An actual Tekken player, she showed her ass. She whooped ass. She whooped ass. So I'm not gonna discredit her. She actually deserved to be there. But
yeah,
other people, just gonna turn my head. Because some of you motherfuckers just know I could have did better.
And it is so interesting because I didn't even know that much of the roster. And I saw Cuddle because L Train has shared it on Facebook. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, I had no idea that they were even doing Tekken for the next season of E-League. And then when I saw, I was like, "Oh, amazing!" You made it. For real. And I mean, she does work hard and she be grinding and all of that. But I totally agree with you because some of those people, I was like, "Who are these people?" Or even what? But anyway, go ahead.
Nigga, do you even travel, nigga? do you even stream, nigga? Have you placed top 3 in an event, nigga? Like, nigga, who are you?
I mean, there's definitely, listen, and Redline was saying it in the chat earlier, there definitely is a narrative to them. They're trying, just like when the MK guys or the NRS guys were bitching about, having Z and Tasty Steve and, players that weren't part of the Injustice community commentating. The formula that they like to use is a little sugar, a little spice, a little snip snails and puppy dog tails, and they like to throw it all in a pot to try and give a diverse diverse roster for the viewership to hopefully attract people. So
because it is TV,
but at the end, it's like, if you want to call yourselves athletes, which we all know you're not.
Do some of them really call themselves athletes?
Oh yeah, straight up. Not even athletes. I mean, going from a hotel to a Wawa to them is an event.
I was laughing at that.
But They need that pat on the back for them. Which, hey, listen, if that's what you need, fine. But you don't see real sports and real athletes picking the players for the team based on, well, is this a woman? Is this trans? Is this guy black enough?
Yeah,
it's based on your skill. Player. You know, they don't draft a quarterback into the NFL and go, well, you know, he's actually he's trans, so you know we definitely got to take him. But when you're building an audience, they most definitely do take that route in order to justify who they don't pick. So I understand it to a degree, but not when you're trying to build something up.
Now, see, my thing. Now, see, I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's for the entertainment." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you want entertainment, then you need to have pork chop, meat, real law, some real motherfuckers who like to talk shit and get hype and all kind of fuck shit on the stage, nigga. That's entertainment. But you know, I'll read it again. I don't know nothing.
Don't forget that you're not the mouth of the Midwest.
No, you're not, Tupperware.
Oh yeah, I'm not Tupperware. My fault. My fault. You know what it is? I'm not sponsored. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. I'm not sponsored. I actually need to quit my job. Be a bum. Have no car. Play Tekken 24/7, and then I can get on E-League. That's the formula right there.
And spend all of your sponsors' money on bullshit and on other people.
So in other words, what you're saying is you're aspiring to be like Fighting GM.
I don't know anything about him personally. Exactly. What is that story?
I don't know what's going on with my man's GM, man. One minute he say he's not playing, one minute he playing. I fuck with GM. I just don't know what be going on, man.
Where is he from?
New York.
He's in New York.
Oh, okay.
He's a guy who years ago, I guess about 3 or 4 years ago, I put up money for a Tekken Tag 2, whatever it was. I think $1,500, $2,000, whatever the hell it was. And the first thing he did is he confronted Big E and asked him, yo, is this guy really going to pay this money if I win? Is this guy... So right off the bat, you know what kind of dick he is. Oh, yeah, straight up questioned if I was going to give the money. So at the time, he was playing with Dana and Flipside. So...
oh, that's how I know his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, that does sound really familiar, but I feel like I've never met him. Anyway, go ahead.
So what wound up happening was I gave... the money, and, I said, yeah, I got no problem with it. But then I told E, I want to hand him his money personally for the simple fact that you questioned if I was going to pay.
Yeah.
And then Dana and
like
team,
you're the sketchy person.
So Dana and Twan and GM and the rest of the Flipside was eating dinner in the bar. And I walked over to him and I threw the fucking money at him and called him a bitch.
Oh, that was the story you told me. Oh, my God.
That's GM. His fucking crutch puppet ass talking shit behind my back. Well, this same motherfucker turns around and starts putting shit out like on the internet that's saying he's banned from tournaments. He ain't banned from nowhere. He's just a broke ass motherfucker. He can't get nowhere.
Wow.
And the fact is he can't get nowhere because he borrowed money, a lot of money off of a girl in the FGC, and then basically told the girl, "Fuck you, bitch. I ain't giving you nothing."
Oh.
Yeah, he's a classy guy.
Is this the girl I know?
Nah, she's
oh, okay.
She's a little known.
I was gonna say.
She's a little known in the Tekken world because of this.
Wow.
But here's a woman with 2 kids, single woman with 2 kids, trying to make it on her own, and this cocksucker was borrowing money off of her. And when I confronted him about it, because believe it or not, before that I was cool with him. But then when I found out, maybe it's a misunderstanding. He didn't mean fuck that bitch. I confronted him and I said, I'm hearing this story about, you with this girl with money. And he basically sounded like, I don't know this bitch. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, so you didn't borrow the money? He goes, yeah, but fuck that bitch. She ain't getting shit back.
Wow.
And that's verbatim, word for word. Now I was like, wow, I should just fucking punch your scoliosis ass and fucking crumble your ass to dust.
Oh,
Oh no.
I mean,
Oh
but
no.
you don't listen. At the end of the day, you don't take advantage of a woman like that.
No, definitely not.
You know, and there's people still to this. See, this is what's another issue with this community. People will defend this guy still.
Mm.
And I'm like,
that
look,
happens a lot in the FGC, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where people defend scum. I'm not talking about Chris. I mean, clearly, everybody has a different experience with people, with an individual. Everyone has their particular experiences, but I just mean in general, that does happen, especially like with people that are like knowingly scumbags. It's like, why y'all defending this person?
and that's like if he turned around to me when I asked him, like, you know, because you always hear stories about people, so you try to dig and say, oh, I want to know if that's really true. So, you know,
Yeah.
you do your little slick Rick try to fucking figure out who somebody is. But, yo, that fucking crutch puppet looking motherfucker turned around to me, dead ass, looked at me, and was like, yeah, fuck that bitch.
Wow.
I'm like, yo,
What
dude,
a
I'm
lot
like,
of nerve. Where do gamers get off this nerve from? I don't understand where the cockiness has come from. It's like, oh, sudden. I guess esports has driven everybody crazy.
well, I think it's more of a combination of people play games that are called fighting games, and somehow they on some Dragon Ball Z type shit and think like they fuse with the characters they use, and somehow in real life they're that way now.
Yeah, they do. It's funny. So, can we talk about like all? Oh, okay. So, voting time, co-hosts. Should we talk about Winter Brawl first, or should we talk about all of the players that are jumping ship on all of their sponsors, or like on all of their teams, or getting fired? I think some of them just get fired. I don't think that many players are I mean, this is in the past like week that like 3 or 4 players have just like major players have just like jumped ship or gotten fired.
from what?
F Champ is a free agent now.
Yes, he
Punk is a free agent now, who will be a very big subject soon. So that's where you'll do the introduction, because I have a lot to say about him. And it was somebody else that had like left their sponsor, wasn't it, James? Those are the main 2 I know.
Those are the main 2. Well,
yeah, somebody told me somebody else, but I can't remember. Or maybe it was talking about like old spot. That this one actually isn't like necessarily like a funny situation. It's actually kind of sad because I did feel bad for them. But that Circa is the other Circa's ending after Evo. That's gonna be their last tournament, which sucks because they do all seem to really like each other a lot, you know, and they did feel like a real team.
You know what it is? You know what it is? And you know, teams like Circa, who I actually like a lot of their players, obviously.
Me too.
They're the victim of circumstances of this whole broader picture of teams, or should I say, people in the FGC forming teams and trying to grow a brand, and with the influx of companies like Splice, who obviously, as we were saying, with F-Champ is now leaving the FGC, and they didn't peel the Band-Aid off. They ripped that shit off. Like, they just like, and it kind of, and again, I don't know the manager for Splice in any way, shape, or form, but I did find it kind of tactless to make a quick video and just pop it up. Like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, like no warning. It's like you sponsor somebody that won Evo one year.
You know, and like with Circa, at least they were like, yo, we're gonna ride it out. So you know your day's coming to an end. Now, you know, on the flip side, the players probably got a little bit of heads up warning. But I just find it kind of, especially when it's big companies that are coming in, you would expect press releases and, you know,
exactly,
definitely, more professionally, yes. But
Virgil84 said Chris T is also a free agent now. What was his sponsor?
Chris T was,
because I don't know him very well or
Chris
that
T
much
was
about
what?
him.
Who was? No, he wasn't Panda, was he? I can't remember who the hell Chris T. You know, again, this also comes.
They dropping like flies.
Yeah. Well,
this
again,
is all literally within the past 2 weeks. It's crazy.
It goes hand in hand to those earlier episodes when, you know, Triforce and I would talk back in 2015, and I said, you know, he kept saying the Zoots are coming, and I said, yeah, they're coming and they're leaving, dude. They ain't nothing here.
It ain't nothing here, and the esports athletes. Okay, seriously, James, I really hope that someone says that at final round so I can laugh at them in their face, like in front of their sponsor. If they think that they're esports athlete, are they for real?
You know, whenever I hear people say that, and Justin Wong, I love you, but to me it's like Justin Wong and putting himself and saying, well, you know, I was on a TV show driving a car and hitting every fucking cone. I'm a NASCAR driver now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Wait, you mean the same guy that like came on the show and said, I ain't never driven in my life. I lived in New York City. We had Subway. I never learned how to drive. And you put me in a car? But it's telling for the FGC when you're starting to see these teams that, you know, and people are always saying, oh, we're growing. I ain't gonna lie. I went to Winter Brawl and I shit you not, I didn't recognize almost 99% of the people.
You couldn't?
Yeah, I had no idea who. I mean, wow. I had people coming up to me and shit, but I'm going, yo, I don't know these motherfuckers at all. You know, and that's where when somebody
like
says
knowing your name and everything.
Well, I mean, they've come up to me like, oh, I seen your show. Oh, it's so cool.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But usually at events when I see people, I could walk into a room of 100 people and I say, oh, I've interacted with 98 of these people. Now it went from like 98 to like maybe 20.
Wow.
But what it is, and you know, Winter Brawl is like I guess a mid-capped event. You know, it's not Evo level. You know, it's not a big level. It's you know, but it's ran where you're guaranteed usually a good, you know, 1,500 to 2,000 people that show up. And most of those people I've interacted over, you know, since whatever, 2010. So, you know, even people that I never really speak to, like, but I would say, oh, I always see them. I'm starting to see less of them and newer people coming in. So when people start talking about the success of esports, I tell them to eat a dick because you're not getting success. What you're getting is the moving on of some people who the life of called the real job, wife and kids, wanting something beyond. They're moving on from the scene. And rather than them stay and new people come in, the void is just getting refilled with new blood.
Or they are just doing adult things. And then, you know, and they were probably balancing the FGC with that for a while. But, I mean, obviously making money trumps that. And that's what a lot of people in the FGC don't understand. It's like people that are adults in the FGC, for the most part, are like for real adults. And they have other responsibilities. Like their life doesn't revolve around fighting game community.
And Manny in the chat said it. Not only new blood, but new weak blood.
That is very true.
Like I'm talking like I used to go to events and there'd be motherfuckers outside smoking a little weed. There guys outside trying to get laid. There's dudes in the corner making out. You know, I don't care what you do, but just don't be a weak ass bitch. Like I'm talking like those little super emo guys that that sit in the corner and you know, grown ass man 30 years old sitting in a chair still rocking. You're like, dude, really? You know, that type of shit. And
or being over like 25 and not understanding how to approach a girl that you're attracted to.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, you know what? Listen, I mean, I just put my.
I'm talking about somebody that has no like pre-existing conditions. Like, there's no mental, like just a regular person. It's just because it's cool on the internet to be awkward, I guess. And no one has social skills. It's confusing.
So what? Awkward is the new cool?
That's what it seems like. That because so many people spend like 50%, or well, probably more than this percentage. I would say maybe this current generation spends about 80% of their time on Tumblr and Facebook and other social media with other emos. So it's just, emo. I hated emo culture as a teenager. So the fact that it has become so popular now is unbelievable. But it is really getting replaced by that, like, oh, feel really bad for me because I like tripped on my shoelace earlier and I like dropped my coffee. I don't know how to function in life. Like, it's ugh.
My mom never told me she loved me.
Yeah, like, okay.
I used to light dumpsters on fire just to see it burn.
Yeah, it's like, please. It's just so ugh. So Chris. Well, James, keep talking about Winter Brawl because
I'm gonna segue into it in a second. So, one of the things that had happened at Winter Brawl is, Big E always tries to do something new at every one of his events. And in at this particular event, he had I won't call it a mutiny, but guys, first of all, if you run brackets, you're not a TO. So that's the first thing y'all motherfuckers got to stop. Like, I mean, I see.
Please say that again.
I see motherfuckers on Twitter, and I'm like, wait, that motherfucker was running brackets over at said event. Why is he putting these a TO now? You're not a TO. You're a bracket runner. The guy who delivers newspapers to your house is not a fucking news reporter.
No. Exactly.
And a lot of people had bailed out on him. Because again, guys, most, if I'm not going to say all, because some people are genuine that they want to, do brackets because they enjoy it, but most people do it to get out of paying the door fee or venue fee or getting some kind of discount for said event.
Or something for free.
Exactly.
Because the FGC pretends like they Hollywood and they ball it, or they FGC athletes and they're broke. Please go ahead.
So with that, and he had ran like a bunch of free games. And people were getting pissy because there was delays.
Weren't all of the major games free to enter?
Pretty much. So it was like, he took a heavy load on. And, I had spoken to him privately. I said, yo, you got to cap, like, when you run shit free, motherfuckers be like, yo, I ain't never played Tekken, but it's free. Fuck it, I'm going to join it. Which, exactly. If you're not a player of the game and you join it, okay, I understand that. But 5 free games, you got to sign up for all 5. So
if you volunteer for a tournament and or anything, because I used to volunteer to work for conventions, anime conventions. I volunteered to work for a lot of things just because I love the communities. I've worked a lot of tournaments. I've never told anyone I was a TO. I'm running brackets. I don't want to run a tournament. I don't want that kind of responsibility. I'm good because we clearly see how the FGC acts, whether you try to do good for them or bad for them. Moving forward, though, it is unfortunate how people do not think beyond the scope of themselves. And people in the FGC are particularly selfish. And it is unbelievable how they'll be so quick to like write something on Twitter or just say something and not think about it. I don't care how young you are. You were never taught reading comprehension. You didn't learn to like.
Yeah, if you're gonna, in other words, if you're gonna go on the internet and talk some smack, don't be a fucking punk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what we're gonna talk about. But you keep talking about Winter Brawl, James, because I can't wait.
So now, you know, there's delays and people are bitching, and you know, I get to the event on Saturday evening, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I had called you and asked you what happened.
And you know, and I had asked you, and I seen Steve Murray post some things about people bitching and moaning, and I get to the event and I find out one of the persons is Noel Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And first thing I do when I see Noel, I'm like, yo, dude, really? You a grown ass man crying about free? Oh well, Marvel and this and that. It's fucking free. You know,
but also Big E was someone that continued to let Noel come to his. He was like, "You can come to all of my events."
When everybody else was banning him.
Bingo.
So I said to him, he goes, "Well, you know, he's got to step up his game." I'm like, you know, at that point, I just shrugged it off and I was like, "All right, whatever." I mean, it's no shirt off my back. But then I get a message from somebody else. And Punk, who's a native of Philly, has worst tournament I've ever been to in my life. I went
on Twitter.
I went,
wow. A sponsored player at that time.
I went, wow, this guy, you know, and I've known Eric for years. This guy, like, you know, this guy took him under his wing, like how, you know, I did with CD Jr. years ago, and. This was that snapback. I mean, I ain't going to lie, and I'm sorry, I'll put Big E's feelings out there a little bit. I could visually see this hurt him.
Yeah, because Big E cares a lot.
You know, and your hometown guy, the guy who you treat as your kid, as your flesh and blood. And you get this. And he deleted it. But now, granted, on the flip side, fucking... Somebody told me something. I'm sorry, Punk. I got to roast you a little bit. Punk, you're not white. I'm sorry. You know, but somebody had told me that Punk had told him, no, I'm not black, I'm white.
Yeah.
I kind of went, what? And then I thought about it and I looked at him. I'm like, yo, he like that one black kid that plays like for Little League. Like, if you watch Little League World Series, you can relate with this. That one black kid with the blonde hair that plays for Saudi Arabia because his dad works in an oil rig in Saudi Arabia, and the whole team don't matter what color you are. It's like mandatory blonde hair. And I'm like, and I'm looking, and I'll go, well, maybe he is in his head, you know, but don't get in an identity crisis, dude. Be who you are.
Oh, okay.
That FGC fan go to some people's head, man.
Chris, would you like to introduce everyone to me? Because I cannot wait to talk about Punk.
You know, sometimes you know that shit get to niggas' heads, man. That's why niggas don't win no more.
Yeah.
No, that's all I'm saying. That's why niggas can't beat niggas that used to torture no more. Now you getting your ass from the tournaments. Might want to humble yourself. That's what it sounds like to me. Sound like you might want to humble yourself. You know, I told Punk. It's funny because I told Punk. I'm gonna get to you, Mel.
No, you're fine. I told Punk because I have a lot to say.
I told Punk when when we all the whole Detroit crew went to the little Red Bull event up there, right? Punk was there.
Oh, the Red Bull event here, or it was another one.
No, the one we had the bus.
The Rosemont one? Yeah.
So, you know, oh, what's up, Caps, nigga? What's going on? Like, yeah, what up, nigga? And I'm like, what's up, nigga? You out here getting too big for your britches, huh, nigga? He like, yeah, man. You know, they can't fuck with me, man. You know, I'm the greatest. You know, they can't fuck with me. I'm like, I'm like, nigga, you suck in real life, nigga. You actually ass. What do you mean? I'm the best. I beat everybody. I beat Daigo. I'm like, nigga, you suck, nigga. I say, nigga, you only good
Bucci
at
has
one
beaten
game.
Daigo.
I say, you good at one game, nigga. You's a Street Fighter 5 player, nigga. That's it. You're not a good fighting game player. And niggas forget there is a difference. There is a fucking difference, nigga. There's a difference between a good player, a good fighting game player, and that nigga just a good Killer Instinct player, a good Street Fighter player, nigga, you're not even a good Street Fighter player. You're a good Street Fighter 5 player, nigga. Because nigga, you see Justin, Ricky, Kelly, all niggas from CVS 2 to Third Strike to Street Fighter 4, the niggas are all good across the board. That means they are good Street Fighter players, nigga. But when it comes down to one game and all of a sudden you are winning, nigga, don't confuse the two, nigga. Street Fighter 4 wasn't paying your mama bills, boy. Street Fighter 4 wasn't buying your mama that new crib to get her out the hood, boy. Street Fighter 4 ain't put you on TNT and TBS. Nigga, Street Fighter 5 did that, nigga. So don't forget that you good at Street Fighter 5, nigga. Don't get beside yourself, boy. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because then niggas like Yipes gonna take you to the chamber and it's gonna be 100 to 69, nigga.
To the chamber, right?
Don't forget. It's levels to this shit. And niggas be forgetting that, nigga. And this is the facts, nigga. So Punk, humble yourself, nigga. Yeah. And you my nigga. And I'm saying this from someone, humble yourself, nigga. Cause you not really good in games, nigga. I seen you play Marvel Infinite, nigga. You suck.
He tried real hard with his fucking awful ass hair that looks like it's about to blow away in the wind.
That ramen noodles on
it's so damaged.
Nigga, you suck real bad, nigga. Stick to Street Fighter 5. Stop trying to play Dragon Ball. Stop trying to get good with your little weak ass Ultron. And
I didn't know he was playing Dragon Ball. Oh, nigga, that's hilarious.
And stick to what was getting you your money. Street Fighter 5, nigga. Stick to that. When you stop teabagging niggas Street Fighter 5 and trying to play these other games, you start getting fucked, nigga. You start getting there's like remember Roy Jones Jr., the boxer?
Yeah.
Then he was knocking niggas out, and then he started trying to make music videos and shit with rappers. He started getting his ass knocked out. Remember that? Yeah. That's Punk. Punk, stay in your lane, nigga. Don't be the Roy Jones Jr. or the FGC, nigga. Don't try to go out here and make music videos and play other games, nigga. No, nigga, stay in your lane. Because when you didn't stay in your lane, you went out, and now you get knocked the fuck out, nigga.
Yeah, heavy.
Now you beat nigga like Squall. Now you can't beat that nigga. You can't, nigga. I'm pretty sure if I bring footwork out here, he gonna fuck you up too. Don't go place, nigga. Humble yourself. And next time you see my nigga Big E, you might want to hug my nigga and say thank you, daddy. That nigga fathered you, nigga. That nigga fathered you, nigga. I told E, fuck that nigga Punk. That nigga from Philly, dog. I'm like, no, E, that nigga suck. Guess what? That nigga E had your back the whole time, nigga. Now you gonna say, fuck my nigga E? That's weak, nigga. That's weak. That's whole shit. Humble yourself, nigga. Humble yourself. That's today's lesson, nigga. That's today.
We'll put that in the scripture.
The church has spoken, nigga.
Right.
That's it. Today's word is humble, nigga. Learn it. Live it. Humble yourself, nigga.
Chris, can I ask you something? So the Bible is not just the Bible of thoughts. So you don't have just the thoughts names. It's also a section for like humble yourself.
I got a whole section of teachings for niggas. And today's word in my sermon is humble. See what I'm saying? Humble. You must humble yourself. Humble thyself, nigga.
Humble thyself.
Humble thyself, nigga. Church, tabernacle.
Well, Chris, are you ready?
And Mel, you about to hate me right now because I forgot what I'm supposed to be saying because I'm retarded.
Just think about Virgil and JDM.
It's something with the devil. Wait a minute.
It's the devil, nigga.
Yeah. Oh shit! It's the motherfucking devil, nigga. Damn.
Okay. So, my interaction with Punk is very, very interesting because James and I actually had Punk on the OBS show. We interviewed him, or really, I mainly interviewed him. We got to know him as a person. He told us about how he grew up and, how he cared about fighting games and yada, yada, yada. And he seemed really cool, And this was before Evo, of course. This was actually probably after the NEC that I went to. The one that we all went to, Chris, in 2016. So this is a little bit after that because we were supposed to interview Smug too, and we never got to. But because life. And, Punk was, cool or whatever. My initial knowing of him was from NEC 2016 because he was in grand finals with your boy, Mena RD. And I remember it was at one point, Punk was like getting coached and it was taking like 5 minutes or something, like in the middle of like grand finals. Punk was getting coached and Mena RD had leaned forward and like stared at him. And it was the funniest thing to me. And I was like, yo, dude is funny. And I wanted like a meme of that situation and it never happened. But nobody else thought that was funny but me. And then Mena RD won friggin' Capcom Cup. So that's what he deserves. Anyway, so Punk had won that and I remember Philly turning up and they were so excited. And I was like, man, that's cool if they back him like that. Then I interviewed him on OBS show. He seemed cool and he, talked a little bit about himself and how he got into fighting games. He seemed real humble. And then Evo happened last year. And Evo, we all know, last year was just a disaster time. Not necessarily particularly because of the tournament, but just because of the people that were there. And was that before or after Punk had, like, destroyed his hair? Was that afterwards? It might have been. I don't know.
What do you mean he destroyed his hair?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So for those of you that don't know, I am a professional cosmetologist and I actually know about hair and makeup and skincare and all that for real. And whoever Punk went to for his hair don't know how to do black people's hair. They bleached his hair and destroyed it. Oh
shit, that's bleach?
That shit look like my grandma's carpet.
Oh wait, that's yo. That's bleach? I thought the motherfucker was walking around with a bag of ramen noodles on his head.
It looks terrible. And it is just unfortunate that he let somebody color his hair like that or really just bleach it and not tone it, not give him aftercare instructions, or if they did, he didn't follow them because his hair looks like if you blew on his head, his hair would break off and fly away.
That shit look like an old ass fucking Dorito nacho chip, nigga. That shit look like.
I'm gonna help out. I'm gonna help out the people in this in the stream that might happen to be of African American or island descent. Don't let white people do your hair. We don't know what we're doing.
And don't let them bleach your hair blonde.
If your hairdresser comes up to you and says, "Oh my God, can I touch your hair?" and then proceeds to tell you what they're gonna do to it, get the fuck out of there.
Run away. And run away. And I can tell you right now, based on the pictures of the salon that he went to, he likely paid for roughly, bleaching white girls' hair for highlights is about a $200 service. So
Virgil said he'd be looking like Simon Phoenix.
In a high-end salon, yeah. Coloring somebody's hair that is dark and lifting it as high as his hair color was lifted, it probably costed him at least $150.
Around looking like Dennis Rodman, retarded nephew.
Yeah.
This shit bad.
So, beyond the hair, okay, so we're still building up to Punk being ridiculous. So, Evo, happened, and I remember being at that Twitch after party, and I was kidding, because I was actually talking to Big E for a little while. And, he had gone off and done other stuff, and I was talking to other people and kicking it. And so, It is after Punk was at Evo and he had made top 8, and I guess he made it. He did not win because Japan wrecked us, and apparently that was an accomplishment for him to make, to top 8, which it is an accomplishment when you are a humble human being. And from that, it's almost like something changed in him, and he just became this more and more of a cocky person. Because even directly after I interviewed him on OBS, I know he knows what I look like. I was talking to him for like an hour and a half on video chats on the OBS show. Every tournament I've seen him out at after that, he has never spoken to me. And I've addressed him before, and he would act like he didn't know me. I was like, okay, that's cool.
It is impossible to meet you and not know you after that, because you were tall and light-skinned.
Thank you.
Nigga, no.
Yeah, he would act like he did not know me. Or he would just ignore me. And I was like, wow. Like, okay, I guess you're not humble no more. So.
You know what? I think he tried to do the Justin.
Yep.
You tried to do the J1. You tried to change his hair color. No, nigga. You might want to go.
Yeah, no, you look like a fucking crackhead.
That nigga look like one of those special ed kids with a helmet on, nigga. That shit, man. I'm about to roast this nigga, man. I'm gonna have a section
licking the windows of the little special bus.
Oh my gosh.
He got curled Cheetos in his fucking head, nigga. That shit bad, dog.
So, I had talked about the hair or whatever in private, because I legitimately was like, who let him do this to himself? He does not have good friends. Who was like, okay, this is a good choice.
That shit looks so bad, like he did it to himself. That's what happened.
It really does. No, it really does. And then seeing it in person, I was like,
wait,
cut it off.
Did you see how dry that shit was?
Yes.
Oh, that shit looked
at Frosty's, it looked like a disaster. It looked like a Brillo pad, like bleached Brillo pad. Like they dipped a Brillo pad in Clorox bleach and then put that on his head. It was awful. So,
that shit bad.
So
that shit looks
bad. It was even worse to see it in person,
bro. That shit bad.
So
he been looking. You see what I got on the stream? Look on the stream. That's what he'd be looking like right now. Simon Phoenix, man. Demolition Man.
Yeah. The reason that this roast is happening now is
right there. Yeah.
Oh wait, there's a link of it.
Get his ass.
That is him. That is him. So, oh my God, that picture.
No, hold on.
That's legitimate though. Wow. Oh, Wesley Snipes did do that. Anyway, so from that, after Evo,
Man, wait. Do me a favor, James.
Yeah.
Get the pic of Dennis Rodman in the movie Double Team.
Yeah. And the pictures of what were they? The gold gang from Meteor Man. Oh my God, what were they called? I'm gonna Google it right now.
You about to learn to be
the
humble.
Golden Lords.
You about to get some humility today, boy. You about to learn.
Oh my God. Punk was trying to be a Golden Lord. That's funny. Oh. Anyway, so
nigga had the Magmar hairdo, nigga. The Pokemon.
He did. So okay, so post Evo, and then him bleaching his hair or whatever. So I have a really interaction with Punk, and this was after Evo, I believe. Or no, it was a little bit before Evo, because it was before I had a falling out with Frances, the infamous Frances, and she was actually tied in with this. So my homie had hit us both up and was like, "Oh, Punk said he likes you," talking to Frances, and she was like, Okay, I mean, like, I'm not really interested in him or whatever. And this fool said verbatim, he was like, oh, well, I'm not really interested in dating her. He was like, I don't date black girls. I only fuck black girls. He said that verbatim. We saw the screenshots of that. And we were both like disgusted. I was like, who says that? And then at that time I was like, but he's black. Like, who says that? Like, your mama is black. So
that money, nigga.
Yes, this Dennis Rodman picture. Oh my God. And so that was confusing in itself. I mean, everybody has a preference, and that's fine. But to like, yes, the picture. Oh, Chris, yeah, yeah. That's, oh my God. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
and that picture right there, low key, like Squall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So from that,
I need Bowman. I need you to get a picture of Squall and put it in the fucking picture right there, and then get the picture of face and put it in the Rodman. We need that.
So from that situation, I was disgusted by that because I'm like, okay, well, who says that? And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it was like a off-color joke, whatever. You know, people say sketchy jokes, whatever. And then I had heard of a separate instance at a later time where he had mentioned something else about like, he was with a mutual friend and they were listening to Busta Rhymes or something. And he was like commenting about, oh, I don't understand how you guys can listen to this because it was Busta Rhymes. And because I guess it was black music. And I mean, this is real. Like that he just does not identify as a black man according to him. Yeah. So we're going to go on to the Big E thing of him.
It's Squall that played for what's that? Broken Alliance.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know Squall, so I don't know.
He an Academy player.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever.
He beat him at Varsity this year.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay. So anyway, okay, yeah. No, I know, dude. Okay, when I see people's faces. Oh no. So
that shit look
man. Oh, well, actually, before the Winter Ball thing with Punk, we can talk about Frosty Faustings because me and Chris were there for this. So the funny thing was because Punk thought that he was doing so good. Okay, he made it to top 8 Street Fighter 5. He had knocked out Twan, and I guess he thought he was doing something. And then Cool Kid came in and wrecked him. And I remember I'm sure I was screaming, cheering, get out of my city, do not come back. Don't come here and be that cocky and then be a jerk to people. You know, it's like, I get it being, you know, having like a confidence about yourself. But then like just being an all out jerk to everyone, like even people that ain't done nothing to you, is confusing. There's one thing to have a competitive spirit, but then, you know, apparently FGC people think that they're for real athletes. I don't know what sports any of them have ever played, but
hey, it's real.
It's real. It's so real. I don't think that any of them could run a mile. And they talking about
they got dental, they got Medicare, they got health plans, they got 401k. Let me know.
Yeah, exactly. So Punk got wrecked heavily at Frosty's, and then after he lost, I was like, okay, good, I can go and eat. I'ma go. I just wanted to see that, and I didn't even watch the rest of Street Fighter. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go and find something to eat. And a group of us left and got pizza, and that was all I wanted to see. Anyway, so then the Winter Brawl thing happened. And when I found out about like what he had said, and the tweet was then later deleted because Punk is, you know, Punk. And I didn't think that he would ever say that about Big E, especially after all of the stuff that Big E has done for him, and how much, like, and we're not saying this because it's the three of us. Like, Big E legitimately has, like, backed him,
look at this
like,
one, Chris.
hardcore. Like, that was, oh my God, yeah. No, he should be one of the children. He's not even high enough to be, like, actually. These pictures are great. Yeah, he really should be Don Cheadle in the background. Or the other dude. I forgot that actor's name.
It's funny because that nigga look like all them niggas already.
I
know. He does. So anyway, he just, like, it's almost like if one of Big E's, like, children said that to him. Yeah. Like, this is the worst term I've ever been to. For the status that he has, and I guess the power or quote-unquote pull that he has in the FGC currently, to be that irresponsible with your words as a sponsor, but no longer sponsored, because he is a free agent now, so that's probably karma for that ass.
I'll tell you with the pictures,
Yeah, the pictures are epic. But yeah, there was an article that I was sent today that Punk is a free agent. So maybe he'll learn in the future to be more humble and to not be. I mean, exactly what Chris said and exactly what James said. You need to apologize to Big E. You need to actually apologize to a bunch of people because you don't even know the FGC like that yet. You got popular real quick, real young. You don't know everything in the world. You don't even think that you black. Are you for real? Punk looks like SpongeBob. And he don't think that he black. He got the gap. He got all that, the blonde hair, even though SpongeBob is a sponge. His hair, that is legitimately Punk.
You know what?
He even talks like SpongeBob. He sounds like the character.
On the real with him though, and this actually, we can roast him all night, but from the bottom of my heart, I could say this: Punk. Whatever you think you are, or however anybody identifies themselves, come to one of the bars in my town.
Yeah.
And you'll see how white you are.
Or into Bridgeport in Chicago.
And it's not, and I say that with love, believe it or not. Because, again, be who the fuck you are.
Yeah. Believe whatever you want to.
But remember this. It don't matter how you identify. It's how other people perceive you. And that's how you get treated. And it's like
Brown. He's darker than me.
Yeah.
But he not okay. Stop.
You whiter than him.
Exactly. Literally. Like, wow. And I'm not mixed. So, and I don't pretend to be nothing else than what I am. And that's just wow. He's
young enough that he can learn this lesson now. Don't be the 37-year-old loser.
Yeah, exactly.
That decides to do it. Learn it now and realize who you are. See as to quote Mr. Caps, learn from the errors of your ways.
From the Bible of what was the Bible called, Caps?
Huh?
What was the Bible called? I forgot what you called it on that one episode. It was hilarious though. It was like in the moment.
Are you talking about are you talking about my thought book?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, what was it? Oh no, it's different Chronicles, baby. That chapter was specifically for the thoughts. Now we gotta move on to the next chapter. It's different chapters in the book. And I'm gonna write them all down. I'm gonna have a list for all the little chapters in the book for y'all. But just know today's lesson was about humble. That's today's service.
Take a word.
And you know what? Redline said this. Why aren't the older people in the FGC around Punk trying to keep him in check? Because that's the problem. They're not in check.
That is the problem.
They're not in check. You become part of the cool club. You become one of them. And I know FGC people, you know, and again, not to put names of people out there, but y'all motherfuckers ain't cool.
No, you're not.
In the real world, no, you're a 37-year-old fucking athlete that's a gamer. That doesn't translate well in the real world.
It sure does.
You know, in fact, you know, because I mean, I seen somebody a couple of days ago, you know, back on this sports thing, and you're not an athlete. You could call yourself that. Somebody else said a digital athlete. I mean, just the digital athlete. Like, don't fucking create things to make yourself. Like they were saying.
You don't care about your life.
Yeah. You know, go to a bar on a Thursday night and tell somebody you're a digital athlete. Go ahead.
Laugh you out of the bar.
You know, and just like Punk said, just like Chris said, you know your be humble.
Be humble. And even if you do feel like you can approach esports and you can make it like on some E-League level stuff, on where the real money is in the FGC, which is very small. You know, let's not pretend. The FGC ain't got that much money. So, you know.
Oh, don't.
It's really don't. And like all these people trying to play floss and, where can I buy Yeezys? Why are you wearing Yeezys to tournaments, first of all? Second of all, because somebody gonna take them. People steal controllers. You don't think they're gonna steal $2,000 shoes?
I steal you whole ass niggas. I don't like you.
Yeah, it's just
I'll rob your bitch ass.
Like the level of like false flagging in the FGC is at exorbitant levels. And if you don't know what exorbitant is, you should pick up a dictionary and figure it out. But
I can tell you niggas who got money, and there ain't a lot of you motherfuckers.
It really ain't. And we know the ones that got money. And if you don't, then you ain't a part of that.
Nigga, if you ain't Justin, Flash, Joey, do I gotta keep going? You ain't got no money if you ain't one of them niggas.
Basically. Shit, even Jabali. Jabali got money for real.
Yeah, because he be buying trans.
That too. That too. Did you ever talk to him, James?
I reached out to him a couple of times. I'm going to try to get him on the show. Again, you know,
Was he upset about what I said about going to do the other stuff? Like, just going to
No. Listen, you know, Alex is a cocky bastard. But
he is.
But I am too, so I know that. And I don't hold that, like, you know, a lot of people be hitting me up, like, with shit, like, yo, fuck this Alex, fuck him. Like, yo, the motherfucker never did nothing to me.
Yeah, no, I've never said that about him.
He's not shit. He's not shit. You know, he's not. He doesn't run shady events. People get paid. He does he's just a dick.
Yeah, and he knows that.
And he knows, and he knows it. You know, he goes, yeah, I could be a dick. You know, yeah. I want his event in Daytona to succeed. Of course I do.
Because it legitimately does seem fun. Like, when I was saying, like, screw the event, I just meant in terms of, like, other stuff that's around there. That kind of trumps FGC people to me. Yeah. Like, I'm sure the events will be cool. Like, I'll be watching Top 8, but I'm going to go and be on the beach and do other stuff. It's Daytona Beach. Yeah. Like, please.
I'm not coming to play no games.
You're right, for real. Like, I'm gonna go and like be on the boardwalk and do fun stuff. You know, not just be in a ballroom with FGC people all weekend. There's plenty of other stuff to do. Don't nobody go to final round and only be in the venue. Don't nobody go to Evo and only be in the venue. You know, like, there's plenty of other things to do. And that isn't a shade to the event. It's literally just like, you put your event in a entertaining area, you should expect people to venture out to do other stuff.
And you know what? Believe it, you know, he's kind of, and the one thing I'll give him too on a side note of that, he's always kind of not really pushed it, but did push it. Like, yo, you know, you're at Atlanta, in Orlando. You know, he does the tickets. He does the ticket thing. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you go to fucking punch Mickey Mouse in the dick or something? I mean, I'd be in there. I'd be in fucking Disneyland.
Universal Studios is there.
There's a ton of shit. You got Ep201. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's so much shit to do there. I mean, I'll tell you right now, me and Chris go to Daytona. We ain't sitting with these fucking diabetic fucking athletes. We're going to the beach.
I'm about to go see some titties and ass.
You know, but he, you know, I want his. I know he's got to be scared shitless right now.
Probably.
You know, your event is weeks out from Evo. This is the biggest event he's done. I know you know, again, I work at Madison Square Garden. I don't care what kind of deal you think you got. Convention centers are not cheap.
No, they're not. Absolutely not.
You know, so he's definitely put up a lot, and I do want to see him, you know, do well. I like to see the competition of TOs. At the same time, a unification of them as well.
Exactly, and that is what needs to happen, because shit talking other TOs events as a TO, just piggybacking off of my actual issue with Jabali was what he had done to final round that year. Regardless of whatever, that was when Street Fighter V had first come out. They had an overflux because I was working final round that year. I remember how ridiculous it was. It was so hard to even keep up with stuff, you know, and it wasn't necessarily their fault. You know, it was just, it happens, you know, and unify as TOs. Don't be pitting against each other. And if you have to do it behind the veil that we know exists, then do it that way. You know, don't pit, you know, help each other get better. If you want to be esports, make everybody a major. Yeah. Work each other's events, work together, give each other tips for real. Show players that you all are working together.
And that's how the grassroots could not only survive but prosper. Because right now, you know, if we're on like some Star Wars level, the Clone Wars have just began.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the esports republic is in right now, full effect, trying to take over what not just the TOs but everybody is players by showing up to events. Every time you heard speeches about like, oh, well, just go there, so show support, and you did, and you were like, I really didn't want to, but I'm showing support.
Right.
All that work and time that you guys have put in for this to grow it to the state that it's at is getting broke down from underneath your feet. Because
and the other thing too that is interesting about like TOs just in general. And, you know, there is such a thing as creative criticism or just a critique of an event.
Yeah.
And I understand the FGC loves blow-ups and all. We obviously just did a blow-up now. That doesn't mean that we hate Punk. We don't even dislike this kid. We just telling him, calm down. Yeah. Humble yourself. That's not okay to do to somebody that backed you and basically made you who you are. Right now, wouldn't nobody know who he was if it wasn't for E. Anyway. So the other portion of that is, think about it in this perspective. You try running a major tournament that you have to prepare for a year in advance. And then when your last event is over, you prepare for the next year. You try doing that with you and a team of people that you are supposed to trust, and whether you can trust them or not. You don't know that because you need to trial and error to find those reliable teams of people. Running an event in any capacity is not easy. It isn't easy to run a live show. It's not easy to work on live television. I have done both of those things in a much higher caliber. I used to do makeup on people where 15 million people watch them on television every single day.
It's live. It's live, motherfuckers. There's no practice for it.
Exactly.
A fuck up is a fuck up. You can't say, oh, let me redo this take.
Yeah, you cannot redo live television. You cannot redo live theater. You cannot redo live anything. Give them a break. TOs do a lot for y'all. And TOs are the reason why your community exists now. Give them a break. You can dislike them personally all you want to, but Big E runs 3 events a year.
4.
4. That's right. TFC. Exactly. 4. You know, it's, you know, and you can have a critique. And if you are personally close with them, then give them a genuine critique. Don't be an asshole about it. Don't be, you know, unnecessary. Just uncalled for stuff is unbelievable because you would not want to be treated that way yourself. If you were running a major event and you dealt with all of these people and took care of all of these people, and you know you tried to do your best, and then somebody that you helped get big in the community slammed one of your events with all of his certified Twitter followers that will grovel at his feet and believe anything that he says, how devastating would that be to you? That would be like if your little brother told you that they hated you.
He better than me, because I'm going to beat your ass.
Yeah, for real. And actually, speaking of another person that was being real shady, which was so funny to me, Perfect Legend, but we know Perfect Legend kind of slow. So he had posted something after Winter Brawl where he had challenged Sonic Fox and I think Chris G, and he was like, oh, well, when are you going to play me in Dragon Ball FighterZ? And I replied to him on Twitter, and I was like, oh, you played Dragon Ball FighterZ? And I guess he took that as cynical. And you know how you can quote somebody's tweet and then retweet it? So he had quoted what I said and then retweeted it to all of his, I guess, Twitter followers, because Carl, I'll be thinking that he's more than what he is. Anyway, and so he had done that and then put in ellipses, which it really wasn't even an ellipses, because an ellipses is 3 dots. He put like 20 dots. That was grammatically incorrect, but Carl's so smart. Anyway, so he had done that. And I replied to him on Twitter to all of his followers. And I was like, Carl, you know, I was like, you have a real problem with thinking that something that anyone has to say is snarky to you. And I was like, I wasn't being snarky. That was a genuine question. But the next thing I have to say is snarky to you. And I was like, this is why don't nobody talk to you in person at events. Because you act like this. And you act like you more than what you are. Humble yourself. We get it. You're a 3-time Evo champion. Everyone knows that. I've known Carl a long time. So has Chris. We've all known him. He from the Midwest, but he act dumb. And he say stupid shit a lot. Even in person. But then every time I see him at an event, he hugged me. Oh, hey, Mel. Hey, what? Yeah, okay, so we cool now because there's people watching. But you can attempt to embarrass me on the internet. Who cares?
Exactly.
But you talk to me in person, though. And then you pretend like this stuff don't happen. And that's not the first instance that Carl has done some stupid shit like that. That's why after a while, I just be like, all right, you just slow. So we just gonna ignore you being an idiot. Because that's just what it is.
Slow.
I mean, you're just this person.
He's just slow.
You're just slow. We just come.
He's sitting on the same bus with fucking Demolition Man. Licking the windows.
Yeah, you know, and it's just it's unfortunate because these are the situations with these gamers that may be very, very skilled and they might be super good at something that they can do, but they have zero social skills and they don't understand how to just talk to another person in a regular circumstance.
You know what? Hey, Bowman, you know, hold on. Bowman, you know what I need, Bowman? I need you to, if you could get your hands on it, I need you to make an OBS special bus with Pastor Caps driving it and Melanie the chaperone and put all these guys in the back seats.
Please do. Because they need the special bus. It needs to be a really, really short bus. You know, that's how retarded they are.
One of the big things that I noticed, and I've noticed it for a while, and I never really chime in on it. Like, whenever there's chit-chatter of people pissing and moaning and groaning about, like, events or whatever, like with the Big E thing, why is it the FGC, like, I always comparisons of, like let's say, Big E and Larry's events to CEO and Combo Breaker, but I never see like, well, I never see them say, well, look, let's compare like Northwest Majors to any of them. It's always Rick and Alex to E and Larry's events. Like, why? You know, what is the need? If you're going to compare events, compare the whole package. Stop making...
Because it's an obvious skin color thing.
Exactly. You know.
And no one talks about it. It is an obvious thing that has existed for a very long time.
Yep.
In the FGC, it's obvious. Are y'all for real fighting game community? But y'all want to be esports. Yeah. But then y'all got the token black person you know, and then want to pretend like you don't do prejudice stuff against people's events, against certain players, against, you know, and then y'all wonder why there is a separation.
And that's
and then you put Asian girls on pedestals, or you put Japanese players on pedestals. And it's like some of it might be a joke, but it ain't really a joke.
Yep.
Y'all really feel that way. And that is the problem. Y'all ain't living in Japan. Y'all ain't from there. Most of y'all have never even been there. What are y'all repping them for?
And they don't even fuck with y'all.
And they don't even fuck with you.
They don't even know your ass exists. Yeah, but again, you know, it's just stop the need to compare events to each other. There's no need to, you know, events like, you know, I go to Big E's events almost everyone. Why? Because it's the closest. Just like you guys, you know, like you with YumaCon, you don't miss the YumaCon. It's right in your backyard. Why would you miss it?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, have I traveled
the
to
same
events?
with Combo Breaker.
Yeah, Combo Breaker, the same thing. But the note comparisons of, well, this person does this. Everybody, you know, if you want a stapled mainstay, you're not going to get it. No. Two, you know, all TOs come from different backgrounds, different ways of doing things. It's their show.
Exactly.
And like I said,
it's literally their show.
Go to the events that you want to go to. Don't bitch about the ones you don't if you don't go.
Exactly. And then don't listen to the rumor mill. Why is that such a confusing thing?
Oh shit! Look at that.
Unless there's something. Yeah, it is getting a little late. And I know it's later for y'all because you all are an hour ahead of me. But, you know, it is just such a thing because people, for some reason, seems to think that being a TO is easy. And, again, like I said earlier, y'all go ahead and you try to run a round robin and you tell me how well that turns out for you, let alone a regional or try to run a GameStop tournament. Do that, you know, and then see how good that turns out. Since y'all so good at doing everything, since y'all running brackets of y'all TOs, good looking out.
And you know what's funny?
I'll see. From being a bracket runner, you tell me how to run a tournament. Then explain to me a budget. Explain to me how production quality. Explain to me all of the vendors that you have to get. Finding a hotel to rent to host your event first of all. And allow the fighting game community in there.
Well, you could, you know, if they want, these TOs can rock it and go hardcore and be like, yo, listen, how about this? There is no discounts. Get your own fucking room. Get your own room at your own hotel.
There's no free entry to anything. Oh, spectators have to pay the same as the people that are playing in the tournament.
Yep.
Then how would y'all feel? Y'all would be hurt.
You know, and it's like, you know, even like, you know, this is the one thing I fear. Like, again, I've told you numerous times, I've never met Rick. I mean, I've had a couple of interactions with him. I've heard nothing but good things about his event. But what the day that I'm waiting for, sadly, is the day that the 24-hour arcade has to stop because he has to move to a bigger venue and doesn't have the opportunity to be able to do the 24-hour arcade. And all those motherfuckers, you know, first of all, listen, if you go to said event and it has a 24-hour arcade, that doesn't mean you shouldn't get a room and sleep in the 24-hour arcade.
Exactly, because YomaCon has a 24-hour game room, and there are totally scumbags that sleep in the game room or just stay awake all night.
Yeah,
and play DDR with their nasty asses, and don't shower all weekend.
Swamp ass motherfuckers jumping around on DDR till fucking 5:30 in the morning.
Yep, and then go to the rave the next night. Disgusting. That's your community, y'all. That's your community. Y'all have fun. Or actually, someone else in the chat has said something really funny. They said, let alone let them have them run a bracket. How many? I remember one time I had to monitor this dude because he had fucked up 2 previous brackets. And they had me sit there and, I mean, not in a mean way, but they were literally like, you know, he really wants to, you know, work for the tournament. We are excited for him. Could you literally just monitor him? And I had to sit there and watch him and show him how to run the bracket.
You know,
and you know, and there's nothing wrong. If you are trying to volunteer, That's awesome. Events love volunteers, but if it's the blind leading the blind,
Yeah.
the people that might be trained, if Webster ain't there, you need to question who's showing you how to like run brackets, especially at a Midwest tournament.
Why, Webster's the shit, huh?
Webster taught me how to run brackets.
Webster's my man.
So and the other thing too with a lot of these younger players, respect the OGs. We ain't been around. I mean, it's like we're not saying this to be mean. We're not saying things to be petty or malicious. We've been to all these events. The only one that we named that I have not been to is CEO. And I actually was supposed to go one year. I only couldn't go because no one would cover my weekend shift. I had a plane ticket and everything. And I anticipate going this year, but it's just that, I mean, like the lack of respect. And I really do think it's the internet culture. And just like so many young people,
it's the games too. It's the games.
It is the games too, because they be so obsessive that they don't have any capacity of how to even talk to another human being. They probably ain't never even applied for a job before.
That's all right.
I'm not saying that to be funny.
Next week's service is going to be on hygiene.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Because that'll be right before final round. And I'm going to be at final round, y'all.
That being said, Pastor Cass has to go lay down. I got to get my rest for tomorrow's work. I got to work for the Lord.
Amen to that.
So, as we said today, y'all, I'm about to leave. But remember, today's word of the day was humble.
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 Be humble.
Humble thyself.
Humble thyself.
Humble thyself. Don't forget that. That was today's service. That was today's word. Humble thyself.
And don't be Simon Phoenix.
Next week, service is hygiene. I'm gonna have all kind of tips to the trade for you niggas. I'm gonna have all kind of products.
We'll have examples of deodorant and like body wash.
I don't even think half of you niggas know the difference between regular deodorant and antiperspirant deodorant. Every deodorant ain't even an antiperspirant. And some of you motherfuckers look at the screen kind of crazy because you don't know what antiperspirant even mean. But I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna teach you how to wash y'all ass. I'm going.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
All right, Mr.
Good night, Pastor Caps.
Tabernacle.
Thank you.
Amen.
Hi, James.
Hello.
I'm also getting a little tired, but I'm going to hang out with you for a little bit. So what do you think as like the truest OG? Because you've been around extremely long time. What do you think about the current state of things?
It's not even near as bad as it's going to get, which is sad. Because I talk a lot of shit, but I never want to see the FGC get done away with and become something that I don't recognize no more. Even when I had taken time away from it, and I came back, it was still recognizable. Now it's getting to the point it's not, because the society and the new culture of hating everything quote unquote political, and if I say the wrong words, you automatically deemed a racist. Like, for example, I say I say I have a preference of black and Asian women.
Yeah.
I like chocolate ice cream and lemon Italian ice. I don't vibe with vanilla. People will say, "Oh, that's cool." But now if I turn around and say, "Well, I don't like black chicks," you're a racist.
Yep.
And that mentality is infecting the FGC in different corners of it.
Which is different than what Punk had said in his colorful way. And that's something else that I would like. That's something that I think should be said as a differentiating factor. Because what you are saying is a preference. What he said was just kind of disgusting. I mean, it's also a preference, but there's a way to say everything.
Yeah, and that's, but unfortunately, the way the FGC is going right now, events, well, obviously people are seeing sponsors disappearing and drying up again, when just a year ago, we were all jerking each other off in a circle, saying how, oh man, we're going places now. We're going places now. Everybody was on this whole, we're growing.
The high horse of the,
We're not growing. We're not going to get any bigger. Okay? If anything, in the esports universe, the FGC will become a niche. And it'll continue to stay that. You'll have high points, you'll have low points, but it'll never achieve the level of like a League of Legends or a Counter-Strike. You're not going to fill in stadiums. We can't fill in Evo stadiums even if they gave the tickets all away.
Oh my God, seriously. I am not saying this because of what's his name? Mr. Wizard being the way he was towards me last year. That's his personal choice if he wants to be a jerk towards somebody that has worked his tournaments and attended his tournaments and competed in his tournaments previous times. That's his business. If that's how he wants to run it, then whatever. But when I was in there, in the Mandalay Bay Arena or whatever it's called, the stadium, where they hold boxing matches, multiple million so like nowhere near full. There were so many sections that were empty. It was actually unbelievable. And I'm like, but y'all charging all this money for these tickets? They were like $95 like for just Sunday or something.
Yeah.
Or up to $95.
People won't buy it. People are, listen, you're talking about a community that's broke.
Yes, they shouldn't. Because what is this for? You're not even there yet. It would be different if there was, that type of pull for the FGC. People have already paid for their flight, their hotel, their weekend of fun in Vegas, their food, etc., etc. They've already paid for their badge and their entry fee to each game that they're playing.
And now you got to hit me on a ticket?
Yeah, then they have to buy another ticket for what? To sit in a big room with some other idiots?
Imagine going to a Chicago, imagine going to like a Chicago Cubs or a Chicago Bear game, and you buy your ticket and you spend whatever, $20, and you get there and you sit down, and they're like, oh, hey, Mel, by the way, if you actually want to see the complete game from both sides, you got to pay another $200. And go, wait, I paid to come to the event already. Now I got to pay more on top of more. And it's, and granted, I know there's a lot of overhead, especially if you're renting out places in Vegas. But it's like, you need to find that middle road.
Too, though.
Exactly.
You also chose to make it in Vegas. And there's also a very good example that you mentioned of it, like, for example, it being in Soldiers Field, for example, where the Bears play. Beyonce and Jay-Z played in Soldiers Field. That is how, in a football stadium, was where their concert was in Chicago, the On the Run tour. And it was sold out immediately. Evo ain't that.
No.
And Evo needs to realize that they are not that yet. You could maybe be that.
In all honesty, I don't think they can. I don't think they can. Listen, the growth percentages of the FGC versus losses and people moving on, it stagnates. Again, the numbers stagnate at between 10 and 15,000 people worldwide showing up to an event. You know, that's one event. No other event is generating that kind of numbers.
Right.
So how do you expect, like every Big E event, Alex in Cali, Rick in Chicago, Jabali in Florida, all need to generate 15,000 to actually be considered a growing, marketable product, which we all know is never going to happen.
Because gamers are broke. What do people not understand about that? That is why grassroots tournaments go on for so long, because they are grassroots. And again, because these TOs put so much effort to give you an enjoyable event, and then you still shit on them.
That's the sad
And
part.
it is unfair because you're not doing it. You sit in your room and you play games for 24 hours. And then you get good at it. And I'm not saying that doesn't take skill too. For some people, it takes more skill than others. There are some people that are just naturally good at games. And they can just pick up something and whoop ass and then walk away. And then there are others that are just obsessed with being good, or obsessed with being Justin, or being FGC famous, which is so funny of a concept to me because that really exists too. And then you have people like Punk, that want to be wannabes. I want to be FGC famous. I want to be in the in crowd. And maybe it is an internal thing of like, maybe they weren't ever accepted by anyone else and the FGC is their crowd. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, be humble. Respect people that have shown respect to you. Respect people that have backed you and had your back.
Yeah.
Including these TOs. You're going to their events. If you don't like them that much, then don't go to their stuff. And then don't smack talk them, especially if you're an adult. What is wrong with you? Like, I just, and this is not just about Punk. This is about like separate other people that I've seen just like slam some TO's events, and then without like it's almost like people treat TOs like they are not human beings.
They somehow they the mentality of the customer service mentality of, well, they should be proud. Yeah, they are proud. They're glad they want you to come to their events. But that doesn't mean they're a slave to me. You can't. It's like these are the same guys that tell programmers how they should make their game. They tell TL. Again, I go on Facebook all the time. I constantly see people. Well, I would have did this, and I would have did that, and I would have did this to make this event better.
Yeah.
Okay, but do you realize those things that you're saying cost money? That
right.
You can't call up. Yeah. You can't listen. You're not going to go out and buy a 200-foot screen and a lighting truss system to light the place up and dictate the prices that you think you should pay. I mean,
and then make sure that because you have all of these systems going on at the same time that you don't blow power.
Exactly.
And then you have a lighted stage and you have all of this pyrotechnics. Well, maybe not necessarily pyrotechnics, but definitely lighting. And it is a production. It is literally a production. And for people that have never worked behind the scenes of anything, you do not understand how that works.
Yeah, and that's where it comes to, like, give the TOs a break. Give the look, give everybody a break at the end of the day. As like what you were saying earlier about, like, really OG. I mean, yeah, I'm the dinosaur that crawled out of the tar pit, but
you're my favorite dinosaur.
It's always been this way.
Yeah.
It's not like this is a new evolution of it and where it's grown. You always get these spurts of dicky moments where the community as a whole just gets the whole community gets its period. And it's just very moody. Right now I look at every game, it sucks.
Yeah. The only thing that I've been interested in trying to play is Tekken and Dragon Ball FighterZ, and really because I played anime games, I've played a little bit of Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I do like the game from what I have played.
Yeah,
I don't know how it is specifically with the mechanics and everything because I haven't got a chance to play it. You know, so once I do for real get to play it, then I'll learn the game. But, you know, it's no rush because the FGC is not my life because I have 2 jobs. I have lots of other things going on in my life. And I think that is another problem that we've talked about this before too. You know, a lot of players will be the age of punk and then the FGC will be their life because they don't have anything else going on. And there's nothing wrong with that either. If you're good and you're young, you know, and you can make it, then do that.
Yeah.
There's no one stopping you. But remember where you came from because there's always going to be somebody that does remember where you came from. And then they will bring you back down to earth in a flaming wreckage.
See, now Redline asked, does too much of focus on events, community hype, and all that mess with the development? Absolutely, because
I agree.
What happens is look at Street Fighter V.
Yep.
You know, it was they were in such a rush to get it out that, you know, they hyped up the Capcom tour and, you know, all these millions and billions of dollar events that will come in. And when you start building tournament scene, it's almost as if they were like, okay, I'm releasing the On Blast Show video game. It's going to be a fighting game, but I'm not going to tell you the release date yet because I ain't done finishing it yet. Exactly. But then I come out and tell you, well, the OBS tournament scene is going to start in November. Well, now guess what I just did? I just told myself I got to get the game done before November.
Right.
Now I'm in a rush, and it's a desperate grab for cash. Now you start sacrificing quality. Because now
exactly.
It's not, now I'm like, all right, well, the tournament season's going to start in November. And here we are in June, and my game's only halfway done. I guess, you know, that idea I had to put, you know, Pyramid Moxie in the game. Unfortunately, I got to cut that because it's going to take too much time. You know, and now you start sacrificing that quality. And that's what happened with Street Fighter. That's what happened with Marvel Infinite. You know, Capcom's been shooting themselves in the foot for a long time now.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Capcom game players hate Capcom, and I don't know what has happened, but it has definitely devolved over time. And yeah, I don't know if it is listening too much to the FGC and developers just not developing good games and then putting too much of the players' input, you know, into it. That could be bad too. They're not the only ones playing the game. I mean, there are casual players too. There are people, you know, that like having specific mechanics in games. There's lots and lots and lots that goes into making video games. Yeah. Which I'm sure is not a surprise I would hope it's not a surprise to anybody. If you think that making anything related to video games is easy, then you might be a genius or you just might be a jerk.
Here's the secret. Here's the secret about game development. You don't just pick up a PC and type in Google, make a character, white guy with 10 knives and a gun, and he does this. That's not how it, and then Google comes up and goes, hey, while you were searching, I created the character for you. You know, to go frame by frame for development, whether they're doing motion capture or if they're hand drawing these characters, you know, or just, you know, 3D modeling. The shit takes
oh my god,
time.
3D modeling. You know? I would, and I can draw and do I can paint, I can do a lot of stuff. I have never, after I learned, and I love cartoons, I love animation, but after I learned the ridiculous capacity of things that you have to do to, one, make it as an animator, get a job as an animator, and just in general, and I'm not just talking about video games in terms of like 3D modeling, but just animation.
Oh yeah,
it is so competitive and so cutthroat. It's actually kind of scary.
You know,
and or being a writer too, because you'll write pilots and stuff, or you'll write episodes, and these big these big companies will steal ideas. One of my friends had wrote she had written a mock script to a popular show because it was a contest for this network to submit it. And she said she was watching TV one day, this was years later, and she saw the exact episode that she had written in that show. And they steal ideas all the time.
Oh yeah,
that's what those contests are.
I remember years ago.
Yeah.
I had, when I was still writing the books, and I was working on the book, and Brady Games had approached me, and I had previously just left Acclaim Entertainment, and another guy that we worked with quit and took a job with Viacom, i.e. MTV.
Right.
And we were talking one day, and he's, and I said, look, I'd love to be able to do, this is going back, maybe like 95, 94, around that time. I told him, I said, I'd love to be able to do a game show, kind of a prehistoric version of OBS. This is going back in the 90s. But it would be like, you would bring on developers, give the developers, a chance to show who the hell they are. Like, because now you even look like developers now kind of get that E-list celebrity treatment.
Yeah.
People know there ain't one person in this chat, whether you're a Street Fighter or a Tekken player or an MK player, that don't know who Ed Boon is.
Basically.
Or Harada, So they've gotten this E-fame. And, the whole show, I ran down a whole rundown of everything. And the guy's like, yo, we're going to do this. I want you to be the host. We're going to do this. He's taking me out to lunch. We go back. He says, yeah, I'll give you a call in a couple of weeks. Now I'm getting a little desperate because now I got no income coming in. And I'm like, yo, what's the story with that? Oh, yeah, they don't want to go with that idea. They didn't like the whole concept of it. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And I just shrugged it off. So now I'm working on, I believe it was Mace, the Mace book that I was doing. And Brady Games turns around to me and they go, we got this pilot VHS, keep that in mind. That's videotapes for guys, not CDs.
I have a bunch of VHS tapes, James. I have VHS anime.
he says, I still have Fist of the North Star.
Oh my God.
I got Fist of the North Star and Ninja Scroll on VHS.
Yeah. Oh, Ninja Scroll is phenomenal.
So what winds up happening is the publisher turns around and he's like, yeah, we're trying to take in some extra advertising, so we're putting ads into the books. And they said, I want you to see this and check it out. And I said, all right, well, fine, whatever. So I slapped the fucking thing in, and it's this fucking dude that took me out to lunch, doing the exact show that I basically pitched to him, except he's, and I turn around to Brady Gaines. I'm like, nah, this ain't happening. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, I sat with lunch with this guy like 6 months ago. And he was like, nah, we're not going to do this. We're going in a different direction. And now you want me to put his product in my book? Nah, I can't do that.
Wow.
At the end of the day, I was a writer for hire, so I didn't have much of a choice, and they did it. But I was like, wow, this fucking grimy motherfucker said they're not interested and wound up doing it anyway. So,
and that type of stuff is just not rare in any form of entertainment. Like, I'm talking about Hollywood. You're talking about the gaming industry, which is also entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People, when you hear those kinds of stories, all of them are not false. This isn't TMZ. We're talking from experience of working in these industries. I worked in entertainment for 10 years. So it's like I've done a lot. And I'm not going to tell y'all my resume. It ain't y'all business. But I've done it. I've done a lot. So has James. James done more than me. And it's a lot of the stuff that we explain is for real experience. It's stuff, it's not gloating. It's not like, oh, look at these accomplishments. Whatever. We've already made the accomplishments. That isn't the point. The point is learn from example. This stuff happens. If you're going to be E-famous or you're going to be whatever, video game famous or whatever, if that's your goal, cool, do it. But do it the smart way.
I tell people all the time, I go, look, sometimes I come off I wouldn't say talking down, but I guess my New York attitude, when people hear it, they kind of get standoffish about it. But I tell everybody the same thing. I usually use two examples. I go, erasers are on pencils for a reason because people make mistakes. But some of those mistakes that you make can't be erased.
Bingo.
And as far as me preaching to people, which I've done over the years about, whether it was doing books for companies or, working in game development, I tell them all the same thing. I say, look, if you set the stove at 2 years old to the hottest it is and it turns fucking beet red and you put your hand on it and burn yourself, your immediate reaction is to rip your hand off.
Yeah, it really is.
But now let me ask you this. The next time after you got burnt and you turn that stove off, is it an option for you to put your hand on there? No, because now you know. Red means hot, bad, stay away, no good.
Yeah.
And you'll never, ever, for the rest of your life, make that mistake again. In life, I've made the mistake many a time of putting my hand on the stove a second, third, and fourth time. Say, well, maybe this time it's not so hot, and then you go, shit, I got burnt again.
A really funny thing to mention, animals know not to walk on hot things. And the fact that, but they're inferior to us, allegedly. And it is just funny how humans will do, make mistakes repeatedly, and then be like, oh, well, how did I get here? I'm not esports famous. It's just, I don't know. It's such a strange, the FGC is such a strange place because there's such a collaboration of so many different types of people, because you will meet real genuine people and then you'll meet people that'll seem cool and then they're not. And then you'll meet people that are the rumor people, or you'll meet people that have a ton of rumors and then they're not like they seem to be or like everyone says that they are. It is so many different conflicting and kind of like, it's such an amalgamation of different personalities. And the FGC is a real interesting place.
I mean, the myth of the FGC is this, and I know people love to push this narrative that the FGC is very accepted. No, the FGC is very diverse.
Yeah.
No, and nowhere in the fine lines of this contract does it say they're accepting. If you're a trans person in the community, and you know it, and I'm sorry if this hurts your feeling, people talk shit behind your back.
Yes, they do.
That's a stone cold fact that you need to know, accept. People talk shit about my back as a straight white man with white male with white privilege or whatever the fuck everybody likes to give each other now.
And me too.
Exactly.
And for various reasons, because of me being, me being a woman, me being tall, me being, I guess, not petite or an Amazon, quote unquote, or me not the typical tiny petite Asian girl.
The gentle giant.
Yeah, exactly. So that had been talked about for being outspoken, because girls are supposed to be quiet and in the corner and not playing games, because girls don't play games. That and if you're in the FGC, you're here because of a guy, or you're here because of your boyfriend or something. Because I am, I guess, what is the best term for that? I guess conventionally attractive. Then I am a nerd princess, or I'm like trying to be something that I'm not, when I've really always been this person my whole life. I've always liked games. I've always liked nerd stuff. And the fact that at 30, about to be 32 years old, that people feel like I still need to prove that to them. And I've been in the FGC longer than some people have been alive is hilarious. Yeah, and that is just, it's like, just think about what you're saying before you say it. And don't just say stupid things to impress somebody that might laugh at it on the internet.
But one of the things is it's always, well, what have you done? Is like the premise for becoming FGC nobility. Oh, well, what have you done? What have you won? Does it fucking matter? Listen, I come to a set event. I go in my hotel room. I buy the ticket. I go in my room and I jerk off all weekend. That's what I do. I mean, it's whatever I want to do. The fact that, and like I said, when I went to like Winter Brawl, for example, usually I'm good with names, if not names. In my brain, I'll remember somebody. And you could usually tell, like, if I get standoffish, like it's more or less like, oh, this person last time came up to me and I met them, but what the fuck was their name? And if my brain can't remember it, I'll either do the head dip like I'm some kind of famous guy and just kind of, I'm walking by, so they don't say something, and hopefully I'll find somebody like, yo, what's that dude's name? So I could go back afterwards. Or if I do know you, if I do and I've interacted you for a while and I don't remember your name, it's, hey, oh yeah, and they've been, and I've been caught with my pants down a couple of times where the dude's like, John, you don't remember my name, do you? And I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, John, I knew it. Well, what's my name? I'm like, John. No, I was lying to you. My name's Kenny. And you're like, oh fuck,
Yeah, I mean, and on something real. When you meet so many people, especially in the community, unless there's somebody that you consistently hang out with in and out of the community, then I'm just kind of not going to probably remember your name. I might remember your face, but don't take offense if you come up to me at an event, or James, like say me and James have actually talked about this. And if you come up to me at an event and I don't remember you, sorry. There's a lot of things that I have to remember within a day. I have 2 jobs. I have lots of other responsibilities. I have friends, real life friends, and the FGC isn't my life. The FGC isn't James's life. Us doing this show is just fun.
Exactly.
And we get to chill and talk. We don't have to do this show at all. Then you all would know a majority of the stuff that we talk about on here. All right, it would be in the rumor mill. And the stuff that we're talking about on here is things that we have confirmed. What's
funny is Nitty's in the stream. Everybody, you might not know him as John, but you know him as the hot dog dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how believe it or not, a lot of times that's how I like with Diamond. The first couple of times I met Diamond, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know a fucking name. I don't want to say nothing. And then what winds up happening is if you have something unique about you that stands out, you have a tendency to be remembered more.
Yep. Exactly. If you're trying to be FGC famous. Whatever that is.
And again, FGC fame, the underground shit. Like, look, Reddit, I like Reddit. People bitch about Reddit. I like the fact that they have a place where guys that, in my opinion, are just weaklings, can get behind their keyboard and talk as much crap as they can to get a rise out of somebody. It's basically like the same as the FGC. Like the FGC are like, oh, fuck Reddit. But half the motherfuckers in the FGC are the guys on Reddit.
On Reddit.
or the other one. What was the other NeoGaf? They were all NeoGaf guys.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
And they'll be like, yeah, fuck that, fuck Reddit. And then meanwhile they're like, hold on, let me log on to my Reddit account.
Let me type these evil things about someone. But we the evil people. We ain't on Reddit.
No.
None of us have time for that.
No, I'll be honest. I had gone on Reddit one time.
Yeah, serious. I can't remember the last time I looked at the website. I maybe go to Reddit no sleep because I just like scary stories. I like for real like scary stuff. But yeah, like it, like the it's just. think about things. You know, it's like exactly what James said. The people that are probably complaining about Reddit are the people that are on there. Sure, a lot of the stuff that's posted on there is gross, but you all keep reading it, don't you?
Well, that was like you know, when you hit me up the other day about Tim and the whole Kayani thing. You know, and listen, Kayani is a successful, one of the, if not the most successful woman in the FGC.
Absolutely, and she's very sweet. She's actually a really nice person.
And with that said, that doesn't like nullify other girls' accumplishments in the FGC.
No, it doesn't. The Asian girl pedestal.
There is an Asian girl pedestal without a doubt. You know.
Yeah.
And speaking on the racial dynamics of the FGC, I don't know. I would say, I don't know if you think 40%. No, that's high. I would say about 35% of the FGC is black male.
Yeah,
I go with a fairly high rate like that, and then the whites. But now, the pecking order is Asian males, white males, then blacks, as far as the perception of people's views of quote unquote top players, and the expectations. When you listen to Capcom Street Fighter streams, it's always dick stroking the Asians. The Japanese guys are here. But in the woman's side of it, I think the black woman doesn't even get any recognition.
No, it's Asian girls.
White girls.
Maybe. Oh, no. It's Asian girls, trans girls, white girls, maybe Hispanic girl, or I'll say racially ambiguous girls.
Autistic girls. Girls missing limbs.
Yeah, literally.
Girls with 2 teeth. And then black girls.
Yeah, and then black girls are somewhere underneath all of that.
You know, and I remember Chris G got roasted for saying a comment about that a couple of years back. Not even a couple, maybe last year or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was last year or something. Because I remember a bunch of people being up in a rage, and they were upset that I didn't say anything. I'm like, I'm not the sometimes people want me to react to every single thing that happens, and because of the OBS show, or they'll just send me stuff for me to pop off, and it's I'm not stupid. Do you really think I'm about to just flip out on a situation because it has no idea? Because you think that I really have no idea about what's going on. I don't have time to react to everything that goes on. No. I don't. A lot of time I won't even care. Somebody said something mean. Oh, Melanie, say something to them. That's not how life works. I really don't care that much about what somebody said about something in the FGC.
And it's the way Chris had said it, and again, Chris, I've told Chris a bazillion times. Chris, you're he reminds me of that politician that in a Will Ferrell type movie that is running for some office and just says dumb shit. But it's not dumb shit as in what he says.
Oh, he's racist.
It's not what he's. It's not the what he says. It's how he says things.
How exactly
that turns people off a lot of the times, and it's kind of
because he's real brash.
Yeah,
I mean that is Chris used to get on my nerves before I knew him. I would be like, oh my God, he's annoying because he would just complain. I'd be like, ugh. But then once I hung out with him, I was like, okay, he's chill.
Once you hang out with him, once you hang out with him and actually hang out with him, the next time he goes on the internet and says some shit, it doesn't even faze you because it's oh, that's Chris.
Exactly. It's literally that, and people, it's or this was what I was trying to say earlier, when people will want me to react to every single thing that happens, or they'll use me as this weird they'll try to like puppeteer me. You're not the Godfather. Yeah. I'm probably the Godfather for y'all. Yeah. You know, you cannot puppet. I will not say something or react to something that I do not feel like reacting to. I am not Huey P. Newton of the FGC. I'm not going to come in and, you know, stand up for every single injustice in the FGC. If you feel strongly about something, then you say something to those players. I'm not about to be jumping in the fire for every stupid thing somebody says.
No, I've done that.
I will talk about things that directly affect me, or something that I feel is very offensive, sure, or something that is just disgusting or wrong, like what we've talked about on previous episodes. Some of it may be serious, some of it may be not. But, you know, it's like, stand up for yourself sometimes. If you all feel like something is messed up, then you say something to them. And then you tell me how well that works out for you. And then you tell me how easy it is to be in the spotlight of being a public figure in the FGC. Y'all let me know how easy that is. And not just about being a TO. What me and James do. What Chris does. I mean, lots of things that are all incorporated in FGC. Being a player, being a manager of a team, being a sponsor. I mean, there are, all of the FGC is a working part of a clock.
Yep.
That's the best way to describe it. It's all clockwork. No pun intended. But if you understand how a clock functions, that is how most companies are ran. It's all pieces. Everybody is a cog in the bigger picture of things. So, yep. But, that's my FGC rant. It's about, like, you know, people not understanding just common sense things. Like, it's confusing how little life experience people in the FGC have, honestly. And I feel that way more and more when I go to events and, like, meet younger and younger players. I'm like, damn, you're, like, 14 playing fighting games, you know, and I forget how young some players really are. Like, I forgot how young Sonic Fox really is. I'm like, yeah, I guess he was in high school a couple years ago.
He was 15. You know, I remember 15, 14 years old the first time I met him. Listen, I've seen Tom Brady. I knew Tom Brady when he was 17 years old in high school. And I see him now, 30-something, with kids and wifeys and all this shit. And, you know, and it's cool to look, you know, that transition, that transition of becoming like an FGC guy to a quote unquote OG. It's cool to see people, you know, that like you said earlier. I a lot of the times my scales for remembering things are based off of video games that I worked on. And it's like, you know, I look at it and I go, wow, you weren't even born when, you know, I was working on Mortal Kombat, and that was 91, 92. And it doesn't click in my head because I say 91, 92 because I was born in 70s. I look at it and I'm like, oh, that don't seem that long ago. And then I start to think about it. I go, oh, fuck, wait a second. 90 to 2018 is over 20-something years already.
Yeah.
And I'm going, damn, I'm fucking old.
Playing Mortal Kombat then. You know what's funny? One of my coworkers had pulled this thing up of Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and it said that cartoon was like 28 years old.
Like, so I went, what the fuck?
Oh my god!
That I get those messages from that this is on Facebook, and sometimes I'm like, oh shit, really? It's been like 36 years ago, the first Final Fantasy. You're like, what? 36 years?
Oh, yeah.
You know, but what's funny about is like I said, for me, what's cool about the way I grew up. Like, you always have stories of, like, your dad talking about, like, before the internet, you know, we used to have to listen to a radio. We didn't have TV. And you're like, damn, man.
But we literally do remember before the internet. Yeah. We remember life before cell phones. Like,
I was talking to a guy I work with, and I'm like, do you remember beepers before you could even put a number in it?
Right.
It just beeped, and you were like, all right, I got to figure out who the fuck called me. And you had a select few people that you gave that number to, and it could only be one of these 10.
Or car phones. That was a thing. You know, and it's crazy how there are legit people that were born in a era where they will never know what life was like without the internet, without cell phones, without social media at all.
I mean,
when you
I
had
was younger,
dial-up internet and it took an hour to load a picture. You know, like
the nightmare of the internet back in the day was you had AOL. The phone company had introduced call waiting.
Yes.
But did not give you an ability to disable it. And the minute a second call came in, it would knock you offline.
Yep. It sure would every single time. And it was the most frustrating thing. And then you had to load up and do it all over again. Whatever you were doing, you had to figure it out again.
You know, and
websites were all trash. All of them were trash.
They were all trash. You guys get to walk through 3D realms on your fucking web pages and shit. We just had text with ASCII graphics. You're like, whoa, look at that! With all these T's, they made a tree. Holy shit!
Yeah, exactly. Those were websites. Like, it has come a very long way, and just to see how jaded so many people are. So many younger people, especially in the FGC, and like really just all of these nerd communities, not just in the FGC, but just to see how jaded they are because they are so obsessed with the internet. And that's the only thing that they know. And I have to remember that sometimes. Like, wow, they legitimately don't know how to interact with others. They don't know how to they probably don't even understand how to have a real job interview. Simple, basic things that you should probably be taught in school. Like
IRC. I remember using I remember, you know what's funny? MIRC, which was I almost called it an app, but the program MIRC is now a iPhone app to get onto IRC still. And I saw that, I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And then I downloaded it, and then I started to remember all the Unix codes, and I'm like, yeah, now I remember why I don't like this shit no more.
Yep.
Even now, I look at it, and I'm like, no, I don't have to, if I want to make a picture or something, I don't have to fucking know a certain set of numbers to create it. I just click on a fucking badge, and boom, there you go, you know. But it's even like I said, there was a game I used to play on Laserdisc in the 80s.
Oh my God, floppy disks. Bowman said, wow. We used to have to load up games when we had to when we had our computer class when I was in elementary school. We had to load up games with a floppy disk, and we had to play fucking Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail.
I hated it. I hated Oregon Trail. I hated it then. I still hate it because you always get dysentery. Always. There's no. It's like, are you drown in the lake? Are you drown crossing the river? I mean, that's the game. Why do we always have to play it? I don't know. I guess to ration your money and food. It didn't teach us anything, clearly, because you still just die of dysentery.
I mean, I remember like one of my games in the 80s that was like my all is those, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat know the Dragon Slayers and Space Ace games. Yeah. They were the old 12-inch laser discs, and I remember I was under teen, I think, still, and I had asked the arcade guy, like, yo, I want to get a price on, one of these, because, back then, 8, 9, 10 years old, you're like, I'll just buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they were like $22,000 is what it was going for back then.
Wow.
For a Laserdisc.
Poltergeist on Laserdisc.
Do you?
Yeah. Just because I love Poltergeist, but it was just such a cool thing to have as a collectible. And Laserdiscs are ridiculously huge. If none of you all have ever seen one before, it is literally the size of a record. And it plays movies.
What's funny though is now if you go on, again, this was a $22,000 cabinet. Basically you got a laser disc player connected to a monitor hooked up to a jammer harness for the controls, right. and it was $22,000, and now it's a $399 app on an iPhone.
Yeah.
And you went from 22 grand to $3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fucking price drop.
Wow. It's just it's amazing how
Tech
different
advance.
everything is and how more and more antisocial people have become. And it isn't just younger people, it is adults too. Like older adults.
Oh yeah.
That is kind of it's weird because it creates like a I think a lot of it is the reason for people having such a hard time finding like genuine relationships, because on the internet there's quote unquote always somebody better, and people definitely do the grass is greener on the other side thing very frequently. Internet dating is a very good destruction of the modern relationship. And social sites have destroyed people's concept of actual friendship. And, I mean, it's just
friendship doesn't come at the end of a keyboard.
It does not.
You know,
it comes when you actually check on people and you call them and you visit them and you talk to them. You know, and it's not just liked status. That isn't all that it is. Friendship is a lot more than that. Relationships are a lot more than that. And the internet and the evolution of the internet has really shown just so much. And it's shown so much about like how people are dealing with each other now. And I mean, the way the FGC has grown, quote unquote, grown kind of, is a very good example of that. Because it's like there has been an evolution, but it is stagnant. Because where is the FGC supposed to go when they hit the glass ceiling?
That's now for the FGC, two things. They get mad. They get mad when government officials say that there's a correlation between violence and video games. With the shooter they had. No, that's you. You didn't go out and shoot people.
Blamed Columbine on video games and Marilyn Manson, and it was like.
But you want to know something? Being one of the fucking the tar dinosaurs, there is a correlation between them. If your parents, if you grew up and you were from the age of 1 year old to 20 years old, your parents let you watch pornos.
Exactly.
How do you think you would be in the real world now when it came to sex?
Exactly.
Same thing with video games. And I had brought up an example in one of the people posting on Facebook that was like, arguing the whole video games don't make people violent. It doesn't make them violent, but it desensitizes them.
Yeah.
And, I had mentioned an article about some kid who, he went to his girl who was babysitting, and they were drinking and fucking around, typical babysitter shit. And he imitated Jax from Mortal Kombat and smashed the baby in the skull and slammed her. Killed the baby.
Oh, wow.
And the person that was in this, that was that anti-Trumper for the it's not the video game, says to me, well, it wasn't the video game, it was the alcohol. How do you know? You were there? You know what was in this kid's mind? The kid turned around and said, I was imitating Mortal Kombat. So now you cannot say, if he says, you've got to, and you're to take his word for what he's saying. He's telling you this happened because he was mirroring what happened in Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
No, it's because he was drinking. No, if he wasn't drinking, he would have did the same thing. He told you he mirrored what was Mortal Kombat. He just didn't know, he didn't want to kill the kid.
Exactly.
But it does affect people. It does desensitize people to the violence. I mean, if you look at it this way, for example, say you grow up playing Grand Theft Auto. And everything in Grand Theft Auto is stealing cars, doing this. And now you're walking down
sex with prostitutes and running over people in cars.
But now, if you look at and transfer that to real life. Now, say you're in whatever. I'm sorry for you West Coast guys. I'm going to use L.A. as an example. If if you're walking down the street in L.A. and you see an armed guy try to steal a car from somebody, your reaction isn't going to be to jump in the car. That's only the movies. But if you never saw that in your life, you might be the type of person to run and hide in the corner.
Yeah.
Whereas you've seen it now so much in your life, it's just normal and you continue walking as it has nothing to do. In fact, you probably pull your fucking video, your phone out and try to shoot a world star video of it actually happening.
Which is what so many people do. They will see a woman getting beaten in the street and film it and put it on World Star. Yeah. That's the society we live in.
You know, and Redline said it goes back to the parents. You know, yeah. Parents, and these are the parents of my generation, like my age people now that are 50-year-old parents that were like the beginning of this latchkey mentality. Let me just give my kid a PlayStation, tell him to go in his fucking room and leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell everybody the same thing. If you wouldn't let your 8-year-old kid go to the video store, which you can't even go to anymore, as they don't exist,
yeah, unfortunately.
To go to the video store and rent the porno, then why would you let your kid go have a video game that clearly is an 18 and over video game because of drug use, violence, and sexuality?
You know, a really good relation to that too, since you had mentioned, you know, like what you would and wouldn't let your kids do. Why do you think that there are so many internet predators? Why do you think How to Catch a Predator existed? Yep. You are not monitoring what your kids do on the internet. Why does a 13-year-old have access to social media to potentially talk to adults anyway?
I mean, I told you, what was that, 2 weeks ago? When I told you what I wound up doing? You know, I wound up catching two predators.
Yeah, on that website. Oh my gosh, that live me.
The live me. Like literally, you know, guys, you know, live me for all you horny guys out there, especially you guys with your Asian aficionado. It's basically a website where girls dance around and get fake coins and turn it into real money.
Right.
But it's such a non-monitored product.
So not, because there are so many people making videos.
There's 12 and 13-year-olds that are on this thing, and you could do a thing called Beam, which is like open up a chat like we got on Skype right now. And I shit you not, I'm sitting there, and whenever I see young kids on there, I stop in the room because I want to see what the fuck, because you'll see the comments. You know, lift your shirt up, pull your pants down. I'm going, whoa. This is a fucking 12 and 13-year-old kid. Like, that's where the government's got to come in and spy.
You know what's interesting? And this was before I knew about, like, this was, okay, like we were talking about the beginning of the internet. This was back then, like dial-up time. Yeah. So I remember going into AOL chat rooms just to, like, have regular conversations with people. I'll be like 13, and you type ASL.
I was just going to say ASL, age, sex, location.
Yep. And once I would get asked, and this would be like general conversation chat rooms. This wouldn't be anything sketchy. It would be like normal chat rooms. And this is back when you couldn't see anybody's picture. So you type age, sex, location. I would put mine, and windows would pop up that would fill up my computer screen. That's how many predators it was. And that is no joke. It happened every single time. And it was like, I used to have to X out windows. And like, they would pop up so fast. And it would be people that would be from 21 to some of them would be almost 50. And then when I got older, I was like, wow, that's unbelievable. You know, and it's just, pay attention to what your kids are doing. Essentially, pay attention. And luckily, I knew better than to, like, delve into that or converse with any of these people, but that's real. And that's before there were pictures and stuff. Now there are pictures. Now you can track these people.
There's
Do something about it.
Listen,
everything ain't anonymous no more.
For me personally, like I said, because of my past, I put pedophiles my absolute number one hated, rapist number two. And because
I agree.
Whether you're a guy or a girl, I don't condone any type of violence towards anybody at the end of the day. But I take it more to heart when it deals with kids. Now I have an app that I use on my phone. Let's see if I can. Can I do this with my phone and transfer it to? I gotta remember how I can transfer it to the screen of my monitor. I got a app and it's called Offender Locator.
Wow! That's a good app to have.
Yo, let me tell you something. You would be. You know what? I gotta think a second. How do I do this? Let me do something quick. 'Cause I want to show an example for people out there. I want you to actually see how bad this fucking really is. Put my iPhone screen on. I don't know why I'm getting a brain fart right now. So bad.
Oh no, it's okay.
No,
probably tired. Cause I'm tired.
Okay, here we go. Let me see. Reflect, because this is actually gonna be kind of fucked up when you see how bad it is.
I'm sure I will not be surprised, unfortunately.
Reflector.
So it does it by GPS, like where you're carrying your phone.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, I'm doing this now. Quick, I'm gonna install this quick. This should bang out in a second. It can't be that big of a program. Accept, install. Yes. Come on, you fucking slow ass piece of crap. Let's go. Okay, that's installed. Finish. And reflector. Here we go. Let's see what we got.
So, James, do you think you're going to come to final round? I know you said you were thinking about coming to Combo Breaker, right?
I'm going to try, yeah.
Yay.
Preferences. Reflector. All right, how do I open it up and connect to it? Now, let's see. All right, let's see. It's got to be under something on here. So let's try Wi-Fi. No, that's not it. Preferences. No devices connected. How do I connect the device? Let's see. Easy to connect. Oh, okay, here we go.
Demonized 13 said, "Can't you Google that to see how many live by?" Yeah, you can. You can do. My brother used to look it up because you can go to like the police department website, and it will tell you all of the sex offenders that live in your neighborhood. And it is predators and sex offenders, like rapists or whatever. But having the tracker is good to have too, because you never know who you might be around. And it is always good to be aware in general.
All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, I gotta fucking connect it quick now. Let me see what I gotta do to do this. Settings.
Yeah, it's probably on the state's database. The what Toy Stalin 37 said. That's true. How are these people not in jail? It depends on their case. I mean, and it depends on the situation, because some people will serve their time, but they still have to be registered as a sex offender. That's just how it works. Or some people get off, or they never serve time, or, it depends. It's a case-to-case thing.
It's not, they never get real time.
No, they really don't.
They really don't. For the crime that
Even
they commit,
sometimes will get 5 years, maybe.
For the crimes they commit, for what they actually wind up fucking getting, is like night and fucking day. Like,
yeah, murderers will get 20 to life, 25 to life, but rapists and pedophiles a lot of time will get maybe 5 years. And that is not an exaggeration. It's actually real disturbing. But anyway.
All right, here we go. Screen mirroring. Oh yeah, dumbass. This is why I'm fucking stupid. Enter on-screen code. Okay, 3878. I downloaded that software for nothing. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So let me go and show you this shit. Let's put on screen capture. Okay, we can close this, reflect the shit. Okay, so now you guys, just to verify here in the stream, guys, if you see the picture of my phone, yes, we are.
Oh wow, look how high tech you are, James.
Okay. Okay, so now check this out. Okay, where's the app? I've had this app for years. I don't even know if you could get it anymore. Utilities. Okay. This is the software right here. Look at how many pedophiles are just around me right now. Every one of those red pegs that you're going to see.
Wow.
That's how many pedophiles. This is Long Island, guys. Now, if you zoom in, okay, for example, right here, I'm gonna like, you see where my dot is.
I'm gonna download this.
You see where
I'm actually kind of afraid to see where I'm at.
See that? The name of the guy? Kidnapping second degree.
It has to be.
Kidnapping second degree. Where he's located. Everything. Like, listen, if y'all ass want to be Batman, you need this app. So, all right, let's just do this, for example, Mel. Give me a Chicago address. Hold on, let me
I'll give you the address to, let me see what actually,
just give me a street.
I'll give you the address to a college campus.
Okay.
That would be really interesting. Let's see, UIC. College address.
Nah, Red Line, I'm out on Long Island. I'm in the burbs, man.
Here, I'll send this to you right now. This is the address to the University of Chicago. Just as a general thing. So, here we go. Here, I sent it to you on Skype.
Okay, so. Alright, let's do this. Where am I? Okay. So, 1200 Harrington Street. Harrington. And you're gonna find a street. Okay, boom. Look how many pedophiles you got all within that area.
Okay, wait until it loads up. Wow.
Now let me find.
Go down towards the south side.
Down by like 64.
Yeah, just as an example. Wow.
You know where Orr Park is?
Where? What is Morgan Park?
Orr. Off of
No.
West Chicago Ave and what's the street? Pulaski Road.
Oh, Pulaski in Chicago. Okay. Wow, it's a lot over there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Look, I zoom out. That's only the ones that they're targeting within a X amount of area.
Okay.
But then again, like I said, you click on the name, Jesse McCoy, West 21st Place, Chicago. You click.
Wow, look at how many are just centralized there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right, let's do. Somebody wanted Detroit.
Yeah, look up Greektown or the Greektown Casino. Here, let me see.
I spelled Detroit wrong, of course.
Greektown Casino, Detroit.
What is it called? Bricktown?
Here, I found it. It's here. It's just a general landmark that's like literally in downtown Detroit. There you go.
Lafayette.
Let's see. This is so fascinating.
Oh, wait, did I just fucking turn screen mirroring off? Yeah, hold on. I just turned it off by accident. Boom. There we go. Boom. Okay, boom. Let me put that back on here. Yo, I'm a fucking moron. I keep fucking undoing it after I... Okay, there you go. Alright, boom. Okay. There's Lafayette.
Wow, it said that it couldn't find anyone in my area, which I'm sure that's false. But maybe it just couldn't read it. Oh wait, no, there's totally some.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Because I just scrolled out and just literally looked for my street.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. And it's every, you click on a name. Let's see, Leroy Joseph on. Who asked me for Detroit? Was that Redline?
I think so.
For Detroit on 3rd Street, 3535 3rd Street, Detroit.
Wow, there are literally 4 within the block that I live on.
And, if you give an address, as you could see how I got this broken down, it's telling you this guy here, the first one, Francis Robert Coughlin. Fucking a person.
Okay, here's a good example. This one dude who he lives, this is technically literally across the street from me. It says he has criminal sexual assault, 2 counts of violent sex and with no consent. He's younger than I am.
The app, guys, is
wow.
The app is called, as you see right here, Offender Locator.
Yeah, wow, this is actually really deep. But
getting back to what the point of this was.
Yeah, we went on like a whole kind of like a whole tangent, but that is good to have because you never know.
Look, guys,
I was talking about that earlier with my friend. You don't know sometimes people.
You
really don't.
If you got kids, I would want to know if my neighbor's a fucking pedophile.
Yeah, for real. For real, but I'm sleepy.
Yeah,
and I'm hungry because I've been awake all day, and I want to lay down and watch television and not think about just things.
Just to close it up, basically what my point about this whole thing is technology has advanced so far in so many ways. That's not first. When molestation was happening in the 70s and 80s, you would hear 1 or 2 stories.
Exactly, because it will always get covered up.
But now you're looking at this fucking
or you
locator.
Couldn't talk about it.
You're looking at this locator who's dropping pegs in a couple of square miles from where you live, and you're getting 75, 80, 100 of these fucking guys all within a distance. That's how widespread it has become.
Yeah.
But without the technology, all of those guys stay phantoms in the night.
Exactly.
So it's as far as technological advancements, that's a good thing. But
exactly.
Guys, myself and Melanie need to get sleep. I got to get up for work.
Yes, and I am off tomorrow as I drop my horns off my head.
So lucky. You're so
I'm
lucky.
off tomorrow, but it is my only off day this week. And I'm so excited to just not do things.
Well, I want to know what the realistic numbers are. It has to be way more than a handful of red dots. No, it's a lot more. Honestly, realistically, when I say those red dots, you're doing a 15, 20 mile square radius.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when the one that I just did up in Detroit, the one that I just did in Detroit was, well, not Detroit. Let's do my location. And the one that's in my location goes out from the closest one to me right now is 1.3 miles, and it covers up until 16.2 miles, and I got 100 of them. In sodomy second level, the first one, sodomy second level, deviant sexual intercourse actor over 17, victim under 15.
Yeah.
And that's, again, it's, life is so short, guys. Like I said, now that I'm going to gyms and trying to be healthy and whatnot, it has kind of changed my perspective. I still won't go to doctors, but I just figure if I'm going to ignore the doctor, I try to make my lifestyle a little bit more beneficial so my body can be. I mean, I ain't going to lie, guys, I'm not going to the gym and doing steroids yet, but give it time.
You're going to become a meathead, James?
I'm going to become a juice monster.
Oh, God.
You'll see me at events looking like fucking Jaha,
Goldberg.
the little white Jaha. What? I'll kill you. But it's for the FGC guys. Stop trying to worry about growing the numbers and making it. Period. Not making it big, just making it.
Making it.
There is nothing to make in the FGC.
It's not. It's really not. FGC Hollywood and the FGC Illuminati and all of that. It's not as all it's cracked up to be. It's really not. Because you find out so much about people that you wish that you never knew.
Oh,
and knowledge ain't always power all the time.
Nope, unless you're playing Mortal Kombat 3, then knowledge is power.
Right, exactly.
But with that, let me let you go, Miss Mel. And
okay, I'll say, here's little Bowser who has been like remote controlling me. Maybe that's why he was falling off. But all right. Good night, James.
Good night. I will have this up tonight.
Good night, OBS. See you all at final round.
Oh God, Larry's gonna kill me if I don't go.
You should come. It'll be fun.
He just has his events all the time in my busy season for work.
I know. Yeah, because you said that the last time that I went.
Yeah.
I remember that. I mean, it's slow for me now, so I actually can finally, have it. I am so excited because that will be a for real vacation that I've needed for a long time. So. Yes, but all right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye, everyone. Bye, OBS. Love you guys. Stay good. Don't be FGC famous.
All right, guys. I got to wrap this up, too, because I got to get some sleep. Again, like I said, man, don't focus on growing the scene, really. I mean, just focus on growing friendships in the scene. Don't shit talk events just for the sake of shit talking events. If you really want to make the scene better, rather than going behind people's backs and talking smack about it, approach the people that are running it with suggestions that don't necessarily mean they're going to listen. But, and if they don't listen, that don't mean go on to Reddit and rant and say how fucked up they are. People want to run things their way. It allows the fact that we're not standard in the way we run our events. It's not like, listen, if you go to Los Angeles to a baseball game, you know exactly what to expect. If you go to New York for a baseball game, you can expect the same thing that you get in LA. With the FGC, guys do different things. 24-hour arcade rooms, touristy shit around, free spectating, and the way they run their events is different too. That diversity is what helps grow the scene. Because it gives opportunity and options for people. You might not want to go to an event that does A, B, and C, but it does D, E, and F well. So you're given that choice. You don't have to go to Evo to support the scene. And if somebody tells you, oh, you don't support the scene if you don't go to Evo, like the Marvel players, people are telling them, oh, you should support the scene because the Marvel, listen, if you don't have my game there, I'm not going to come to your event. It's not about the scene. It's about money. You could support the scene by watching the streams. Just playing the game. Buying the games supports the scene. But with that, guys, my ass has got to split because I'm getting tired. My eyes are getting lit, and it's already 1:30. And my new hours at the Garden, I got to get up at 4 and be on a train by 4:40. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe. All that money, if you look at the below the stream, you'll see CASE, which is a Chicago-based organization that works with women sexually exploited through the sex industry, and GEMS on the right, which is also a advocacy group that helps get women who have been involved in the sex industry, sex trade, get them out of that industry. I know, guys, you don't want to get preached to, and I don't want to preach, but these are two great causes that Melanie brought up. Any money that gets raised is getting donated to these groups. Guys, just, be good to each other. That's all I can really say. But with that, guys, peace. I'm out.